It is 9:30 and you're tuned in to Beltway Radio and Beyond, which can mean one and only thing. I don't know how this show works.
You butchered that.
I screwed it up.
Yikes.
I forgot how to do the show. Welcome to ChipChat. Hi, I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
You just told him, buddy. At least you got that part
close.
right. You were close. 9:30 on a Thursday night. Mean you're tuned into one and only thing.
That's
where you're trying to get. That's where you were trying to go.
Yeah, I was trying.
You were trying.
You know,
okay.
I'm a little rusty. We were off for a week.
You're rusty. I haven't been here for a month.
You were off for a while.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. You're like never here.
Hey, sorry.
Don't ruin a streak at this point.
I know, right? Exactly. The streak is not being here. When's our next day off?
I don't know. But we have a show tonight. We have a special show because we have a guest.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Jay Yoko is back, and we're going to talk to her about like music things and stuff, which is cool. So stay tuned for that. I promise that's going to be fun. But interesting day, like
this show changed and. I wouldn't say 24 hours, but it was less than that.
It was less than that. So, for a little behind the scenes, right? People want to know that it's Passover, right? And that started yesterday night. So I had a Seder to go to at my parents' house, and that meant I wasn't going to be able to like write much. So I did most of the writing. I do all the writing. I did most of the writing on Tuesday. And I was like, how much can the world change in 2 days that I'll have to heavily edit this show?
That much, not that much.
Yeah. And so like I get through Wednesday and there's like a few things here and there, add a line, take a line, something like that. Right. And then today, just minding my own, going about whatever it is I was up to. And my phone buzzes and oh shit, Pam Bondi's fired.
Yeah.
Yes. So then I was like, oh well shit, now I gotta write a bunch of new jokes. Which they definitely are gonna be as good as you can write in a few hours in a very hurried state.
What are you gonna do? They dropped the blonde shell on us.
Oh, nice. That's excellent. Yeah. I didn't even have a good comeback for that. That's good. Man. We're not
more hop flam in me. All right.
We're not doing this joke any justice.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, in general, this is a pretty funny show. But not
I love the bell was kind of like kind of.
Yeah, Bell was like, yeah,
easy.
Bell has judgments.
Easy, everybody.
So anyway, yeah, so we're gonna do that.
We're gonna do that. It's not gonna
like I said, Jay's here. We haven't talked to her in a long time, so we're excited for that.
Just a lot of things we can talk about music.
It's been like 2 years, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that. Yes, it had to be that.
It's been a while. And also that guy who thinks he's president is busy making all of the rest of the world less stable and less of a genius. And we finally figured out or learned why Kristi Noem had to shoot that puppy.
Because of the guy who thinks he's never mind.
Yeah. Oof. Now, just vis-a-vis that story, which we are going to come back around to. So just keep that forefront in your mind. We sent our intrepid reporter Brian to learn things.
We did.
So
I saw the request.
Nope. Yeah, so I cannot wait. Nope. I cannot wait to find out what Brian had to do to his browser history after we sent him to learn this.
I love when he realized like the headline in that thread. Yeah. Because I just started laughing immediately because I had already seen the story. And I was like, oh God. Yeah.
It is an interesting thing. So yeah.
Mrs. Doubtfire has a real we might get a new one. A remake
starring Brian Nome. Yeah,
right.
That was maybe Pam Anderson could play, the other. Never mind. She could play him in a movie.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Anyways.
No, Pam Anderson will play Brian Nome in the movie.
Brian Nome in the movie. Okay, got it.
Yeah, now you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I had to inflate that one a little bit.
Oh God.
Yeah. Sad though.
D plus.
Yeah. No. Ryan, where's the button? Nope.
Nope.
There you go. More hop slam. More hop slam for everybody.
More. Oh God, this is gonna get off the rails real quick.
Oh God. Slur in. All right. So
that's a slur.
Do you have a word? No.
I know. I gotta be careful. I'm pushing up against the line today. Yeah. Yeah, I have a word.
Okay. All right. We'll see if this works.
I hope so.
So sit back, grab some
cups.
It's air conditioning time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
D-Cup. All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's poppin', y'all?
All right, I want to test something real quick before we do the sound effects. All right, let's see if you can hear this.
I can. Is it a screaming goat?
It is a screaming goat. It's
trying.
It's trying. I think he's running out of juice.
It's dying. It's
a dying goat.
That's what it's doing.
I have several copies of the screaming goat, so I'll have to go get another one before that. Now, just quick plug before we get into the headlines, which is, of course, why everybody tunes into this show. I just want to remind everybody that we are working on setting up ChipChatistan, and we haven't figured out how people can donate money yet because we need money to get to.
What do you mean we haven't figured that out?
Venmo. I mean, there's I haven't done the thing. Okay. I haven't bothered to do the GoFundMe. I don't want to find out how few people want to help, but maybe I'll set it up. I don't know, but what we're trying to do is raise enough money to get to MicroCon in San Diego in 2027, where we can go hang out with the Sultan of Slowjamistan. And, we as co-presidents of ChipChatistan, we need to go there, but we also need help creating this new micronation. And we're going to need various ministers of various things. Patrick has already been added to the cabinet. I think he's minister of culture and something else. I don't know, words. Maybe it was words.
He can fill in as the president too, co-president. If you
right. He's like, he's here enough,
Yeah.
Charlie's like minister of cinema or fantasy sports or whatever. We have all these. So if you want to be part of ChipChatistan and if you want to be part of the founding and probably only governing coalition, because it's unlikely we're going to allow the plebeians to vote in their elections.
I will figure that out for you all.
As his minister of no voting.
Small. Oh my God! And everybody's gonna vote.
Tez is minister of small d democracy. Exactly. He's gonna let all the kids vote too.
Exactly.
No, we're not gonna let any immigrants vote in our people. No women vote. I don't know what.
We only have immigrants if we're starting this.
If we're creating the micronation, that is a great question. One that I'm sure the founders had struggled with right up until the 14th Amendment.
Right. We're not even talking about that.
We're briefly
kind of we're talking about that. One thing I want to do, because we've already like 10 minutes into the show. I'm going with 11:55.
11:55.
That's right. Now I'm going to start just putting in a timestamp to see. I'll put it in the chat just for our own personal chat. So we'll see.
Okay, good.
I'm doing these hop slams. I'm not going to remember what the hell I said.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said the last 10 minutes.
So if you do want to be a part of ChipChatistan and you have a good idea or a bad idea for how we should run our new government, we want to know about it. So let us know what you think should be included in the new ChipChatistani constitution. And, if your contribution's good enough, then we'll probably give you a title, for whatever. Like, I think DP has to be Chief Justice of the Supreme Court because he's the only lawyer that would associate with us. And we don't know any other lawyers. And so he's Chief Justice by default. Yeah.
Okay.
And right. I don't know how this works.
Well,
so if you want, but we're presidents. I mean, that's how that has to go.
Clearly.
I have to be benevolent dictator. And
there can't be dictators and actually, yes, there can.
Sure, there can. We're making up our own rules.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're not getting out of it.
Iran had a dictator and a president.
Yeah, they have a supreme leader and a president, and they're two different people.
Yeah.
And one works for the other one, I guess. Kinda. We're not really sure. Nobody knows how that government works. Certainly not Trump. And it's been negotiating with the great Zoltar in front of an arcade on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Yeah, the mullahs told me it was great. He gave me my fortune. I put in a quarter.
My favorite Iranian president's name was what was my man's name? Was it Mahmoud?
Mahmoud Ahmadinejad.
The best name. I don't care what anybody says. It's an incredible name.
He should be hosting All Things Considered. What a name.
Right.
Such a good public radio name.
Canned for what we just said. He should be hosting All Things
Ahmadinejad.
God, it's such a good name. It's just so good. Simpler times.
What a name. Yeah. Remember he had that bad blazer that he would wear? It's sort of like dusty tweed jacket. Yeah. And he was yelling about George Bush is the devil. What a time that was.
What a time.
Remember when our war crimes were simple and gentle?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Wait till they get worse. Okay.
Woo.
Ready for some headlines?
Yeah, give me this first one.
Yep. By rule.
By rule. By decree from the
decree of the co-presidents of ChipChatistan.
Woo! All right, let's see if I can read. All right. Trump told Great Britain that they should go get their own oil. British Petroleum responded by uncapping their massive well in the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
So bad.
He's like, you can go get your own shit. And they're like, okay.
All right, we got something for you.
Yeah. Kristi Noem, ready? Claims that she was blindsided by reporting that her husband participated in fetish websites where he wore fake boobs. Apparently, her home security system was about as good as her homeland security system.
We guess Kristi was upset that Brian Noem fake tits was bigger than hers. Jesus Christ.
I like that you had to say that one too. We want to point out how this man's name is spelled. It's Bryon. We think that's Brian, but it could be Brian. I'm not sure. Brian.
That sounds like the name of fake tits.
Yeah. Look at the Brions on that one. On his websites, do you think he's Brianna? Is that a thing?
You just you know what? You can
whatever
be who you want to be, man. I'm not here to yuck people's yum.
That's right. Speaking of which, worse yet, Corey Lewandowski had to go home and find out the hard way that his wife is into pegging.
According to Congressman Jared Moskowitz, Kristi Noem's puppy, Cricket, walked in on Brian, and that's the real reason she had to kill the family dog. It had seen too much and was threatening to call the fake New York Times.
That's right.
Failing
New York Times. In a bid to make the DOJ more white supremacist, Trump fired Pam Bondi and replaced her with someone whose last name literally means white, Todd Blanche.
Crazy. You may remember Todd Blanche as the lawyer who lost Trump's criminal case in New York, but you certainly don't remember him for anything else.
That's right.
No.
Let's see. Bondi was going back. Will be going back to the private sector, where she will be working with Brian Noem on his next boob job.
I'm sure there's more of those type of jokes. Pete Hegseth drew some attention when at a press conference he did this. We'll wait for it.
Let's see if Brian's got it. He didn't do it. Brian's like, fuck you. I'm not putting the clip in.
Wait for it.
He's not going to do it.
He's not going to be there.
Nope. All right.
Maybe
what he did was
you off in a minute.
he went like, we're going to be there long and hard. And then he went like this while he did it. And Trump was standing behind him and Trump's eyebrows went like this. He was like, oh, okay. That's the metaphor we're going with. Long and hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
I trust Pete.
Right. Pete says he's long and hard. I like guys who are long and hard. Yeah. Pistol Grip Pete went on to say that the forces he commands are made up of some of the finest, strongest men that he had personally inspected each one of them.
They're different. There are women in the. Anyways.
Nope, that's why I took women out of combat. Yeah. That's all making more sense now.
Right. Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, right?
No, look,
we're fighting over the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to send in the Homo of Hormuz. It's going to be fine. and Pete's on it, man. He's on it long and hard.
Woo! Okay. I have to repeat that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, that's just very funny. Trump addressed the nation Wednesday night for 30 minutes, in which he told the longest and worst April Fool's joke imaginable.
That's true.
I passed out. Literally like 15. I think I'm like 10 minutes into it, and I was just like, done.
So we were at our Seder. We did pause the Seder to watch the rocket launch.
Of
because
course.
That's cool, and we care about that. And then did not look at all. Had no. What was he gonna say?
I thought I was like, oh, let me watch this to be informed for the show. And then like 10 minutes in, I said, I will make the show worse. I will make people less informed if I continue to watch this. Actually, I will be so dumb by the end of the 30 minutes, I won't even be able to show up for work or this.
It's like that bit in Billy Madison where he's like, everybody in the room is now dumber for having listened to you say that.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Oh.
Oh, man. Is it my turn? Yeah, I think so. All right. Trump said that Iran had been beaten in his war, but that he also needed to continue the war just long enough to Epstein the Epstein and still Epstein his Epstein.
Jeez. Oh, yikes. The Supreme Court has turned down the appeal of Tiger King Joe Exotic, which his name should be Joe Exotica, on the grounds that the weird guy can go fuck himself. Yes.
The judges halted construction of Trump's planned ballroom, noting that if Trump wants to collect the balls of his cabinet members, he can store them on a bookcase. Certainly don't have any books on
it. If he wants to collect them?
I don't. He has, I assume.
I believe.
In those weird shoes.
If you watch these cabinet meetings, it's very disturbing.
Marco Rubio's ears are growing in front of us. What is going on in that? It's like the fumes coming off of JD Vance causing all sorts of weird mutations.
Maybe. Look, I don't know. Or he's turning into Dumbo. Italy failed to qualify for the World Cup for the third time in a row because they are primarily a baseball country now.
That's true.
Who knew?
As punishment for the loss, the Italians will be forced to watch the Americans play soccer.
Oh God.
I don't know if you watched any of those tune-up games, but they were not good.
No, the one I did watch was very sad. Was Jamaica shitting the bed at the end against Congo, which I didn't expect Jamaica to beat them. But
we looked. I mean, obviously Belgium is good, right? But like that's a
shout out to Leopold.
Yeah, that was not right. No, they got some white Belgians.
They do have some white Belgians on. Yeah. There's a few that are not.
There's a few that's you know. Well, former Everton great Romelu Lukaku not on the team anymore, but still, showed out well for
Free State.
That's right. Sorry. There you go. Okay, where are we at?
I think that is on me.
Yeah, you're on NASA.
Yeah, I am on NASA. NASA launched Artemis 2 missions to send people farther into space than ever before. But unfortunately for them, they will eventually have to come back to this shitty planet.
That's right.
I like
they have a black astronaut too.
They do.
Going to the moon. Yeah. And a lady. You know that women can be astronauts now?
Yeah, it didn't. What's her name? What's Katy Perry's an astronaut?
That's right.
Gail King is an astronaut.
Yeah.
I got lots of. Well, Brian, we thought you were an ally.
Yeah, come on, Brian. Yeah. Brian hates women.
Yeah, that's a clip.
Yeah. No.
Like I said, Brian hates Katy Perry.
I do not like the fact that those reporters were calling Gail King and Katy Perry astronaut, where they all they did was kissed out the atmosphere, and that was it, and came right back.
You're right.
We're not arguing with you. We're just calling you a misogynist pig. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oink,
right.
Yeah.
Oink, oink is crazy. That's a crazy response. Okay, shit. Well,
all right. On to the rest of this fakakta show. Let's see. TSA agents finally received paychecks. Thanks, said all their creditors.
Right, because they're thousands of dollars in debt now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've been on a lot of planes over the last 2 weeks, and I miss the foolishness. I stopped traveling right at the end of all of this going off the rails. But man, those people were angry. And I'm not talking about the customers. I'm talking about TSA. I started walking by them and saying, hey, thank you for your service, as if they were in the military. Because I was like, you don't have to be here. You don't have to be here. And
they were a volunteer force.
A volunteer force? So, speaking of my friends in the TSA, despite the pay, many TSA agents have quit, leaving the airport staff like Trump likes the age of his women under. Wow.
Oh, wow.
I didn't read that far.
No.
Shit.
Yes. Oh, good. I'm glad we planned that one well. Trump's war on farmers continues as the Iran war drives up fertilizer prices and his tariffs drive down the prices they get for their crops. But don't worry, their ability to lick boots is undamaged.
Look, there's going to be another January 6th style event where it's going to be everybody if this shit continues. Like, it's going to be like, yo, the class warfare will be done and everybody will unite because $200 oil.
Grab the pitchforks.
Yeah, pitchforks. Yeah. I mean, look.
Made in China, though, because we don't have steel here anymore.
That's a good point. The farmers that's how we'll unite. The farmers will provide us the pitchforks. They should have them. Where are we here? Okay. Supreme Court heard arguments about birthright citizenship. Trump attended the hearings, making the first time a sitting president had to have the Constitution explained to him by everyone in the room.
Yes.
It's just so jarring that the head of the executive branch would go to, anyways, that's a different story. We'll talk about
but it is that story, is it not? I mean, it is very clearly like the reason this has never been done before is because it is wildly inappropriate.
It's so inappropriate.
It is the directest violation of the separation of powers you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, because all right, and then some would say, all right, State of the Union, but no, that's inside that's in the founding documents.
Specifically, all three together.
Yeah, and you've been invited to speak to the.
Have to be invited.
You have to be invited. It's not, anyways. It's so crazy. Fucking timeline's insane.
Incredible. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer gave a speech asking Europe if they could make up and rejoin the continent. The French responded by chucking stale baguettes at him.
Yeah, fucking Brexit. What an idiot.
Brexit is a French word for regret.
Yeah, right, exactly. The hearings on the case seem to indicate that the justices were skeptical of Trump's position because KBJ put it, they can read?
Oh, yes, that's right. That's why they were skeptical of his argument, because the 14th Amendment has words.
It does have words.
All right, as I mentioned, Passover started this week, and Jewish people everywhere were celebrating by eating matzah, which tastes exactly like the box that it comes in.
Glad you got that one.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you get the last one.
Yes. We celebrate this holiday. Yes, we of freedom. We celebrate this holiday of freedom by restricting our diet because, as my Aunt Esther used to say, quote, "Why should I have anything nice?"
Yes, there you go. That's the headlines.
Yikes.
Chag Sameach, happy Passover, everybody. Yeah. So that's certainly no beer for me for 8 days.
I'll take care of it for you.
Forced to drink tequila, which is a cactus.
Yes.
And therefore illegal.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm working this weekend, so no dice on that either.
Oh.
I'll tell you about that later. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Those are the headlines. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to interview somebody who's far more interesting and cool than we are.
Yes.
And talk to her about the music business.
The show will get better, everybody.
Yeah,
hang in there. Hang in there. And then
about to get interesting. According to what Facebook AI says, sometimes we interview incredible guests. So that's what it said.
You should read that at some point in the show.
Yeah, I'll make you read it.
Oh, God. It's a lot.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Yeah. I waited. Took my time with you, baby. Late night calls, sun coming up. Thought you was the one, but that bathtub told a different story, girl. We met on a Tuesday, coffee shop smile, talking about dreams, just kicking it a while. Phone call long, damn near sunrise. Falling for your voice, not just your pretty brown eyes. Every day got deeper than the last one. I was thinking, damn, a nigga might have found one. Held myself back, played it real cool, 'cause real love ain't making me a fool. The goddamn ring around your bathtub. Girl, what the hell you been doing in there, love? I was ready to give you all my trust, but that funky ass ring done fucked it up. Yeah, the goddamn ring around your bathtub got me questioning everything about us. If you can't clean that basic stuff, how you gon' handle love between us? Friday night movies, hand in your hand. Popcorn whispers, baby, I'm your man. Walked you to the car, lips got a reckless. Kiss so good, Lord, a nigga's helpless. You said, baby, tonight's the night we can love candlelight. I said, shit, I'm ready, let's ride. Didn't know your tub had a dirty ass side. You said, make yourself at home. I said, cool, let me freshen up. Walked in that bathroom, pulled back that curtain. What the fuck? That goddamn ring around your bathtub. Girl, what the hell you been doing in there, love? I was ready to give you all my trust, but that funky ass ring done fucked it up. Yeah, the goddamn ring around your bathtub got me questioning everything about us. If you can't clean that basic stuff, how you gon' handle love between us? Hey, I said, baby, hold up, wait. She said, what? Don't ruin this date. I said, nah, it's bigger than lust. That tub got me losing trust. She snapped, boy, you tripping hard. I said, nah, that ring left scars. You defensive, I'm stressed as hell. That tub done told me more than you were willing to tell. Hey, baby, niggas got standards too. And if you can't clean a bathtub, I gotta wonder what else you don't do. And baby, that just ain't no way to live. Ah, the goddamn ring around your bathtub. Girl, what the hell you been doing in there, love? I was ready to give you all my trust, but that funky ass ring done fucked it up. Yeah, the goddamn ring around your bathtub got me questioning everything about us. If you can't clean that basic stuff, how you gon' handle love between us? The goddamn ring around your bathtub. The goddamn ring around your bathtub. The goddamn ring around your bathtub.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me, hiding his face, is Tez.
What's popping out? He's all right. It's out of
Ryan is
control.
proud of
It's out of
himself.
control. It's out of control. It's out of control. All right. Not the last one, because there's been so many, but one of the last ones was about a chick not being able to fry chicken. And
Yeah.
I thought that was like the pinnacle of fuckery. And then we just went another step.
The groove was solid, though, man. That was
Ring
funky-
around the
funky
tub.
groove. Yeah.
There was like a lot of there was like a truss line in there that I was just like, what? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth wasting the water. But you know what? We're here now. We're here now. I don't know. Yeah, that's insane.
Hey, look, it could be worse.
It could be.
A person could have wrote that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
then you'd have to have like no faith in humanity.
Yeah, I guess. All right, I can't get that out of my mind now.
All right, well, we've got the perfect person to ask about this. So I have this whole long bio about Jay, but we don't have to do all this. basically, she's a artist, manager, mentor, educator, all around music expert, knows more about the business than you could possibly imagine, has worked with so many people, and has been friends of this show for a very long time. And so I see, Brian, you shouldn't have played that right before we interview somebody who knows.
It's just because we're rattled now.
Yeah, I can't focus.
Right. It's just rattled. I usually wait until like the next break to do that.
But no, that's what we're dealing with. So let's see. She's worked with the Recording Academy and Songwriters Association of North America. They probably have thoughts about this kind of nonsense. Grammys, all of this stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna call her back up. Jay, welcome back to ChipChat.
What's up, guys? How are y'all? Yo, where'd I get this song from?
Brian is scouring the AI internet for the worst fucking things he can find.
That was insane. Yo,
yeah.
No, there's another one about a chick not being able to fry chicken that is equally insane. But this one is
the gist of that song is that the lovin' was good, but that the food was not. And
the lyrics are insane. Like
the chicken was raw.
That was a raw chicken.
And like it took a minute for it to click, and when it clicked, and I'm like, hey, am I listening to what is he saying? What I think he's saying right now?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Terrible.
Okay, so I was going to ask you if you enjoyed the headlines, but now I want to ask you about this. So, like, you're a music expert. What do you think about this kind of stuff existing out here?
Listen, it's the times we're in, right? Like it's here, and this type of shit is like watching people who are literally like spending time, money, and energy of like going to the studio right now. This is the times that we're in right now, man. Like it's not the best, but it's really what's happening right now.
How far are we away from some AI winning like a Grammy or something?
Because people will be so pissed about it, I don't think it'll happen. But there was already had to be like conversations and clarifications about like what can be counted and what's not, like already type shit. Like it was a major conversation last year. Everybody was not happy with the outcomes. Put it like this, you feel me? Like there are rules. There are people who know the rules and still break them. That's all I'm gonna say for real. So like, unfortunately, until there's like some type of mandated, let's say, available technology, because the technology is out there. It's not gonna be available for everybody because that's gonna fuck up everybody's money, right? But until there's a way to actually be able to like scan a song and figure out if they use AI or not. Everything is about the honor system right now. It's like, do you know where we live? There's no such thing as a goddamn honor system. You feel me? So it's like everything's up in the air. So on the outside, it'll never happen, right? Because people will be so pissed about it. But you never know what they won't tell you.
Isn't it? I mean, it's really Milli Vanilli, but like at a maximum level, right? Who would know? Who would know? Imagine.
You won't. Like, it's people out here using AI and they doing what they got to do for real. But it's some people who are like, put it like this, like some people know to shut your ass up, right? Do what you got to do and shut your ass up. I'll never forget last year. I'm not going to say where I went because I don't want to put it together, but I went to a panel, right? And I went to like a conference where it was literally the subject of like using AI and like sync music, so music that you try to get in like movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And he literally was saying like, you shouldn't do it, you shouldn't use it. And the guys on the panel like, I just made like 10 songs and submitted them not too long ago, and everybody's like, what the hell, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Shut your ass up. You on a main stage as a highlighted person, and you like saying this shit right here out loud right now. But it's like, listen, it's happening,
This might be a sort of a backwards way to put this, but I can certainly remember hearing the criticism of sampling way back when, and people saying, oh, well, it's not real musicianship, it's not real, music or whatever, because like anybody in their basement can just make this entirely by themselves, and it's not like having a band or whatever. And we kind of got over that somehow, which I mean, obviously sampling is its own form of creativity. It's a whole nother thing. Will this eventually wash that way?
I feel like, so the to me, the reason why we got over sampling is because we figured out how to make money off of it, right? So we figured out a way that like ethically everybody is taken care of, because whoever the record is getting sampled from is getting credited and they're getting paid. So there's a level of like respecting the original art type thing, right? So they found a way to respect the original art. Where we're at right now, we're in like just an unregulated territory, and that's why everything is so crazy, because like the technology moved way faster than the policy did, if you would. So like it was no rules around it, and that's where we at right now. So I don't think we'll get to that level, right? Because even the whole, I remember like one of the premises, even sometimes like what I use, like I did a clearance last year, the Ozzy Brothers, and like the whole kind of stance that we had, if you would, was paying homage to these artists, if you would, right? So that's another way that they were kind of, pushing sampling. We want to, respect them, but, use their art, but pay them for it type thing. Or even if you're doing like covers and you get, the license and everybody get paid for whatever, you're still respecting the art. Right now with this AI shit, like they trained everything technically illegally, right? So I don't ever think that they'll kind of like sweep it under the rug as much, because nobody is taking the credit or the accountability of, what, we did fuck up. We stole all your shit. We trained our stuff on all your shit. We'll pay y'all, do whatever. Like they're like, nah, we never did anything wrong. It's called fair usage. You know what I'm saying? So because they'll never take that accountability, I don't think it's gonna be such a sweep under the rug for real.
It's well, when we get closer to an answer, right? As we follow this weird journey that we're on with AI music, we're gonna need you back more frequently to kind of keep us up, because I mean, it's the thing, we talk about AI on this show a lot, usually in a fairly critical stance, I would say, and that is one of the things that worries me. Like we asked accidentally, I just literally was searching for a particular clip of this show on Facebook, right, and it responded with an AI synopsis of what this show is like. And I sent it to the guys. I don't know if Tez has it handy that he can read it out, but like it was a little creepy. I was also a little proud, but it was a little creepy what it said, because it's like, oh, well, maybe it's listening to us. Maybe there's an AI version of ChipChat out there, and even fewer people listen to it. So I don't know. What did it say, Tez? Do you have it?
God, it's very long, so I'll try to do this.
It's like the show.
1 point here, right? Got that part right. ChipChat made headlines by settling a decades-long dispute between Tacoma Torch and the Only Crop Dusters. This notable reconciliation was shared through their podcast, where Tez and Chip discussed the end of a long-standing feud. The podcast episode, titled "ChipChat Makes Peace with the Only Fans," has been made available on platforms such as Hubhopper and iHeart. ChipChat is a popular podcast and known for its engaging discussions on various topics, including breaking news, politics, and entertaining stories. Recent episodes have featured conversations with guests from organizations like HomesNotBorders.org, Boots the Healed podcast. Some notable discussions include refugee and resettlement, service members' transition to civilian life, and humorous takes on current events. The podcast hosts, Chip and Tez, are known for their witty banter and in-depth analysis of news stories. This was where it started lying. Their episodes often range from 134 to 180 minutes, allowing for comprehensive discussion on various subjects with their unique blend of humor and insight. ChipChat has built a loyal following across different platforms. Lies and deceit.
So that's what it said to me, like kind of unprompted. I didn't even ask it, like, what is ChipChat? I was literally looking for the clip about the OnlyFans, which was an excellent episode, I would point out. And that's what it answered. So now I'm all creeped out that it's like listening. It's trained on our show.
Yeah, it's scraping everything. It's on the internet. It's looking. It's listening.
Even the bad stuff. I mean, this is not a good show, but it's
not really.
It's training itself to do our job.
Listen,
this is why AI sucks.
the AI writes more than Tez. All right, so
yes. Yes.
All right, so Jay, we want to ask you about some other sort of more important things, right? Other than just our self ego. So we just wrapped up Women's History Month, which we already can't wait for Trump to cancel and replace with Men's History Month. I'm sure we all need another Men's History Month. So what are some of the ways that you were working to recognize women in March, specifically in the music business and with all of the stuff that you're doing there?
Oh man, a lot of my team that I work with are like predominantly women, believe it or not. I think out of everybody that I work with on like a day-to-day type of situation, it might be one guy, to be honest, that I'm like really kind of in cahoots with. And it's not like it's on purpose. It's kind of just the way the cards fell, if you would. So I am kind of always surrounded around either, to me, like really powerful women or people who I'm trying to help build into the next generation of powerful women. So in a really just cool space to be not only absorbing from other people around, but like being able to see like some really cool stuff that the people around me are doing. Like for instance, my mentee, who I've been mentoring her probably like since 2021 for real. So she just got into Janelle Monáe's Accelerator. Nice. Which is out in LA. So kind of just being able to see small stuff like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like she's out in Cali doing her thing right now for I remember when we used to have conversations about like, this is how you pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Not only mentoring her on like the business side of the music industry, but just like a personal side, building her up as a young woman in this industry for real. So seeing things like, wow, you know, you out in Cali doing your thing. You around big people and seeing, you know, like her headshots and stuff come up through the official thing. It's like, wow, that's dope. And then on the other side, seeing people who, you know, are honing me for real. So I'm always big on like still being a student to the game for real. So like, for example, I was in DC earlier this month in March. Just had a crazy schedule, so didn't have like no time.
Yeah, you didn't call, you didn't stop by. That's fine, whatever. It's cool.
I got my ass rocked, you feel me? I couldn't even see like family for real. I couldn't see nobody because it was all like get off the plane and you're scheduled until like 9 p.m. and you fly back out the next. So it was just really like round robin, but it was cool because like one of the people I was with, Linda, who is a young lady who works at Sona with me, who just does a bunch of cool shit in the industry, right? So for me, I always still feel like I'm an underdog, right? Because I'm around people who are generationally in music. I'm talking about like grew up in music since they was kids, like legendary, you know, music kids for real. People who have worked at this label, this company, I work at this university, I'm a professor. I'm like in my head, I'm still just Jay. You feel me? Like there are certain things that regardless of what I've accomplished so far, I'm still figuring certain shit out and figuring out like how certain things work and navigate. So when I was in DC, I was kind of on a being somewhat of an ambassador, if you would, type thing. So I came up there and I talked to John Riley, which is a gentleman from the Copyright Board. I had a meeting with, I can't think of the other guy right now, but he's so cool for real. Tom from the RIAA for real. So RIAA are the people who are like certifying the records, and they are pretty much like the label's lawyers type situation too for real. So I'm pretty much with Linda all day, and these are just her homies. You feel me? So she works at a university. My whole purpose of coming up there at first was just to talk to her students at the university for real. But then after some things happened, she seen me teach a class. She like, I'm gonna introduce you to some of the power players pretty much. So as I'm having these meetings, you gotta realize like, okay, I'm from the DMV, right? That's home. But I've never been in a situation where like I'm on Capitol Hill for real. Like,
yeah, it's like it's a weird thing because like we're DC kids, but we're not Washington kids. There's a difference.
Like, you feel me? It was different. You feel me? So it's different being on Capitol Hill and being like, yeah, I can't pay for this man's lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, yeah.
You know, like it's different. And I'm like, wow, like I'm sitting here with these are like power players. You feel me? And I'm just casually having lunch and we're showing each other dogs and all that type of stuff like that. You feel me? But then it's also like these are the people who are moving policy right now. You feel me? Like these are the people who are helping figuring out what do we do next when it comes to AI. Like these are literally the folks who are making the decisions. And I'm just sitting here chilling, having lunch with them. But this is all because somebody who is to me, mentoring me, seeing something in me, was like, yo, I'm gonna set this up for you just because like you need to kind of get on this side for real. I didn't even know that side existed. You feel me? So
yeah,
it's always a situation where I'm very much like iron sharpen iron type situation. So if somebody's saying something to me, okay, I'm finna go figure it out, absorb this shit, learn this shit, but then I'm also about to give it right back to somebody behind me, because that's how we kind of got to build everything up. So that's why I'm always big at just like staying a student of the game for real, for real. So I think, March was real good for me of just seeing how working kind of in an ecosystem. And for me, I think it's always, I tell people like, never be afraid to like keep learning. I feel like sometimes people get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm good. I'm, like the expert. Even when people say like you're an expert, I'm always like, nah, bro, don't say that. Like I'm still, learning for real, because that's just how I see things. But because of that, I'm able to grow so much organically for real, for real. So March was real good for me because it just showed me like, be a student of the game and keep not only planting seeds but watering stuff and see how many crazy things happen. And it just was so much wild shit that I'm sitting back and I'm like, all this happened from like doing what I actually love to do. You feel me? Like this wasn't like somebody introduced me to this lady, like this young lady we met at a mutual event. Of course, we're already in an organization together, but it's different when you meet at an event. We were out in LA. We absorbed energy. She's like, yo, Jay, I like how you speak. I like how you so and so. I want you to come talk to my kids. And, like you talk to people all the time and it's like, all right, yeah, cool. You never know if it's going to happen. But then to start seeing it happen, it's like, so we booked your flight. And it's like, oh, shit. Okay. Like,
oh, this is real. Okay. Yeah, never mind. Yeah.
Like, I'm literally texting my partner because I'm like I'm on Capitol Hill. Like I'm from here, but I've never been to this part because I never had like no business in this part. And she's like, I'm looking at your location and like you're like in the heart of it right now. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of, I'm hyperventilating a little bit in the best way, but I'm like, it's just crazy right now, bro. And it's like all because you kind of following your own kind of path, if you would, and figuring out. But again, keeping that mentality of stay the student, man.
That's fantastic. And I don't know how you keep cool in all of those situations, but I guess you do. All right. So the Artist Awakening Project, which was one of the things that, you've been working on, which what we wanted to highlight to bring you back and talk about that. Tell us about that. And I don't know if Brian got the graphic that I sent him or if he cares, if he's going to even bother to put it up. But in any case, yeah, tell us about the Artist Awakening Project.
For sure, man. So this is something that I'm pushing. I'm actually prepping it this year to kind of go live next year, believe it or not. Just want to really take my time with it. But it's a situation where like I want to get back boots on the ground. So when I first started kind of in this music industry, one thing that really got me like I would say kind of like notoriety and honestly some trust for real is I went on tour with my boy Rel Carter a couple times and we did a couple cities, but it kind of taught us just like that shit different than being behind a screen and being on the phone. You feel me? And people need that, like, not only hands-on touch after pandemic, but there's just so much information that's not being shared to marginalized communities to me. And I've seen the effects of being able to sit down with some creatives just at the table and literally sit for an hour and say, what do you need help with? And see how much it like literally changes somebody's life. Like I never forget doing this. And this guy told me, he's like, yo, I've been doing music for almost 20 years. And I've learned more in an hour here than I have in my whole life. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy for real. So my mentality was always to share the knowledge and the information. But I think now, just with everything going on in the industry, from like the labels and stuff kind of restructuring and everything not being like a traditional label anymore, to everything that's going on with AI, to how like all these catalogs are getting acquired, like nobody really understands what's going on behind the scenes in this shit, right? And they're not coming to our communities and telling people like, this is what all this shit means for real. So I just feel like it's at a point where it's like, you know what? Somebody got to go tell these kids like what's going on, right? Not only like how to make money in the industry right now, but like how so much shit is attached for like you got laws that are being lobbied right now behind music and people don't understand that shit, right? I'm talking about like there are so many rappers who are out here who have no idea about the Rap Act, which is the whole thing about trying to make sure that they can't use your lyrics and stuff in courtroom for real, right? But to me, like that's something that every rapper should know and be fighting for right now. But nobody is making it cool for them to know these things, right? And what I've learned over time is sometimes these creatives, and regardless of where they're from, zip code, what they look like, it need to be broken down in their language at the end of the day, for real. And a lot of times in this music industry, when information is shared, they're talking down at people and not at them, right? So people are not absorbing it because it already feels some type of way. So I want to take either myself, my team, I want to team up with people that are actually already in different communities and figure out how do we sit down with these creatives, teach them the business side. And I'm not just on some like, here's a book to read. No, like, do you know what these royalties are? It's on the screen, write them down. Or, you know, we gave you the digital download, follow along. You feel me? Like, here are the websites you need to sign up for. We're going to take 20 minutes of somebody play music, whatever you want to do, and sign your asses up. Do you have a PRO? Do you know what BMI is? Like, do you know what ASCAP is? Do you like basic things that they're not telling people, which to me is foundational, because if you get in the industry or you're doing a job and you don't know how to get a paycheck, what the hell are you doing for real? But
nobody, you ever feel like I know that, you know, one of your taglines is like, come get these jewels, but like, do you ever feel like you're kind of like, I don't know what the word is, maybe like a clandestine mission, or like spy isn't exactly the right word, but you know, like you're gathering all the information up and then like giving it to the people, and like there's a reason they don't give it to the people, right? They don't want them to know that stuff, but you're like Robin Hood or something. I don't know what's the you know, analogy there, but there's something there that you're like breaking the doors open and letting everybody get the stuff.
I mean, they've been exploiting us with this shit for so long, man. You feel me? Like, if you go back in the history of music, like majority of genres are tied back to Black music some type of way. But then, like, you gotta, I always tell people, you gotta go back to the history. And this is, again, part of the reason why I started this whole shit is like, again, being a disruptor for real. Like, exactly what you're saying. Being somebody that's like, yo, how long are we going to keep lying about this shit? You feel me? Like, how long are people not realizing that the reason why we have managers is because some Black artists were not allowed in certain places. We had to be walked in by somebody white. Congratulations, that's your manager. You also can't read your contract or count. So that's your manager who's handling that. You feel me? If you go back even further, before it was a whole, like, you know, black and white situation, which has always been for real. But think about, like, people don't understand why we have music publishers, right? Back in the day, everything was like segmented. Somebody might know how to play the music, but somebody else know how to write it. But somebody else supplies the paper. Right. Somebody else supplies the ink. Everything was fragmented. So your publisher was the person who was taking the music and being able to put it on sheet music and then sell it to people. They were publishing the music. Congratulations, that's your publisher. But you wrote that shit. You know what I'm saying? You are the person who played the keys for real good. You're the artist now. So all these roles were based on like historical shit that was like, well, since you can't do this, I'm gonna do it for you. Now you talk about a whole industry that was built on some, since you can't, I can, and add exploitation to that shit. It keep, you see what I'm saying? It's a domino effect. Somebody's gonna always fucking lose. I'm tired of my folks losing for real. So I got to the point where I started half of this shit because I couldn't figure it out myself. So I'm like, if I can't figure this shit out, I'm gonna learn it and I'm gonna be the person to tell everybody this shit because I couldn't figure it out either for real.
The second you find out, you should just like go tell everybody, right? I mean, why would keep it to yourself?
I mean, to me, I'm a domino effect person, right? So I feel like if we tell one person and then that person go back and tell their crew and their whole crew kind of get it together, like how many little situations gonna get their shit together, and eventually, like, they can't keep taking advantage of us if we all get a little piece a bit smarter for real. And it all starts with like, I'm big on each one teach one for real. But like, how much shit have we heard or learned from homies that just put us on to something and made us a better person for real? Okay, everybody love music. How much more would you love it if you got a little bit of coin from it? And it's not because, you know what I'm saying, you're doing this for money. Money is made from it. That's just part of it. You feel me? Like, this is your art. You deserve to be compensated for your art. There's money out here for your art. You gotta go write your name on it. So this whole shit that artists have to be starving artists, to me, is the dumbest shit in the fucking world that they out here pushing for real. But nobody is telling them nothing different. So they ride with the shit. You feel me? So I'm just trying to be somebody that's like, yo, look at it from a different perspective.
Jay, the question I have for you is, right, everyone's always like, oh, I want to be the artist. I want to be like a rapper, whatever it might be. How do we get folks to be more like what you're doing, right, around the business and actually understanding that to help these artists? Because I look at it like the NBA, right? Not everybody is able to go and play actual professional basketball, but the league itself, the apparatus of the league has many different jobs. And I look at that with music, right? There are so many other jobs outside of being an artist, even maybe more lucrative than actually being an artist. And I'm wondering, like, do you see areas of opportunity where we can create more folks who actually know the business of music? And more Black people specifically, actually. I mean, more direct.
and beyond, that was another purpose that was behind this program too. You feel me? Is to like bring enlightenment of more. I had like in a bigger deck, I have a situation where it's like I'm so tired of not having voices at the tables that are making the decisions. You feel me? Because we're always pushed to be the artist instead of being the executive or being the marketing person or being the accountant person, the lawyer for you feel me? So I think that to me is a situation of access and exposure, right? So again, some people don't know about this. When I was growing up, I had no fucking idea about anything that I'm doing right now. Nothing for real. When I first started in the music industry, I wanted to be a producer. And this is shit. A lot of people don't know this for real. I wanted to be a producer. Coming from the DMV, my shit was like, yo, I want to be Timberland, Missy, and Pharrell all mixed together for real. Like, that was my shit. When I went to New York, I was in school and I had an internship with this dude. And I remember like pretty much hitting a play with him for illegal shit for real. He was doing like college shows and he was the radio man for real. And one night my job was holding this envelope got 100 bands in it. I did not know it until the end of the night. And I just remember being like, how the fuck you do this? Because you look like me. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we from similar backgrounds. He just kept telling me, like, you got to understand the business behind the music. And then you'll understand how the money works. I never fully understood what the shit mean until I took some time to, again, start learning what the business behind the music meant. And that's when I'm like, damn, they're not teaching these kids to go learn how to be the manager, how to be the executive, how to be the person who is auditing the catalogs to figure out where the money is missing for real. But I think, again, that's a whole thing of like education and access. They're not teaching these kids this because they want to take advantage of them. But I definitely think that there's a really big open gap and pipeline that not only am I working on with this program, but I'm like talking to a bunch of different companies right now with shit that I got going on where I'm like, listen, why we ain't got no programs at HBCUs to like study Motown and figure out how we can recreate the next executives of the next generation type shit for real. And I think that every, like institution, believe it or not, is already behind. You feel me? Like if you look at their textbooks, all that shit, regardless of what's going on in the world, they already behind. So on like the tech side with music, they're behind. So this is where I see like a gap and an opening where it's like, let's fill this fucking gap for real. There's no reason why we shouldn't be creating the next generation of Sylvia Rhones, of like, Ethiopia who there right now, of the whole Motown legacy. There's no reason that we can't be incubating this next group of who's going to create these people for real. But this is where my brain comes in, and I find people who also find this type like-minded situation to be able to say, okay, like, let's change this. You feel me? Like, let's hone the artists, and that's cool, and let's teach them, but let's also create the next wave of artist managers and artist, publicists or whatever the hell that we need, because we need some of everything right now. But I think people just don't know that these things exist, and they don't know that this is something that they can do, because in their head, like, they want to be the star, but sometimes the star is the one who's behind the scenes who can make the plays.
Do you think that people, so we've talked about this several times before, even just offline, but like in all my years of booking music, the thing that was always very clear to me is often the stroke of genius or the thing that makes somebody a great musician, whether it's, songwriting or playing or anything, often makes them totally like, they don't give a shit about things like being on time or making their commitments, because they're like, yeah, whatever, I'm just playing music. And they just still like, don't take logistics seriously or like scheduling seriously, because I think that's a different part of their brain, to be perfectly honest. I think people who are musicians, who are good musicians, are not really that part of their brain that is business is not switched on. They just don't care about that. So like, and it's very difficult to manage that. And I think that so much of the story that we hear, at least in modern times, especially with the way that people use technology, you hear about, like somebody in their basement layering tracks and becoming Chapel Roan or whatever, right? And everybody says, oh, okay, well, so I don't need a team around me. I need one person and Pro Tools, and I need to work my ass off and get around that. And I think that's totally a myth, right? Yeah. Because the people who really succeed are the people who do have that team around them. They just don't really talk about it that way. And I mean, I see a music business management thing happening at the place where I work. I know it exists, but I don't think it's openly discussed, right? It's mostly just about like whose name is on the CD, and that's it.
It's definitely like managers are definitely behind the scene heroes. You'll never get your name really out there. You'll never get the acknowledgement, even when you do some shit that like is, I don't want to say life changing, but you made a really big play to make something big happen for your artist. Nobody will ever know it's you. You feel me? And I think sometimes that's why some people are also deterred from like being on the business side. Is again, people want the recognition, they want to shine for real, but it takes a certain kind of caliber of person to be like, you know what, I know how to pull these plays and make these moves and not really need anybody to know it's me for real. So there's like a happy medium of like, you got to be cool with not being known. And some people like that and some people hate it for real. But I definitely think that there's a fallacy right now of like the fact that a team isn't needed. And I think that goes back to just the level of like, we don't have artist development anymore, right? So people don't even know what a team consists of and why you need different people to do these things, because everything's microwave right now. Like make the music, put it out, get viral on social, boom. That's all you need for real. And it's like, nobody ever taught you how to hold a microphone. Like, cool, you make microwave music, but you've never performed before. And if you ever did, you probably sucked ass. And you don't have people who are real around you who are going to tell you these things. So boom, that's why you feel like a team is not important, because you don't understand like what a team is and what they do. And this is why I'm always big on like study the greats. You know what I'm saying? Like study the greats. So I'm always like looking how, and it's crazy because we don't study it, but other people do. And I'm like, people don't understand that K-pop is so goddamn popular and it works because they studied Motown.
Yeah, and it's a whole industry.
Play for real. So that's why, like, cool.
They have academies where they train these kids
for years. You feel me? For years. Look at what's the girl EJ, who, praise God, she popped over this last year for real, but she was shelved after she was developed for 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years. They're not doing that over here right now.
It's like they're treating these kids like car models. Like, they start like developing it and, they're engineering them to be this thing. And it is, like in music, there's always this story of the sophomore album, right? Because you have your whole lifetime to write your freshman album, to write your first record. And so it's got everything. It's got years and years of effort and toil and work in it. And then you got 2 years to get your next record out, and you better hurry the fuck up. And it often suffers as a result because it's compressed. You wrote your first album over 10 years, and then you got to do 2 years. And it's like that's also part of that, right? That doesn't get discussed at all. It's just sort of like, oh yeah, they just burst on the scene. You didn't see the 10 years of grinding that they did before that, playing shows in little shitty dive bars or doing whatever they were doing. Yep. And that's all part of that same team thing. I do want to ask you also about, like, since we are coming off of Women's History Month, we just had a case where the EEOC got involved in suing a Coca-Cola distributor in New England for having a women's retreat. And they're like, how come you didn't let any of the men come to your women's retreat? And so my question is, like, do we still, I guess this is answering that question. Do we still need spaces for like women or for, individual groups of people, where they can feel supported and feel safe, a BIPOC group, of this group, of that group, or whatever, or have we just flatly achieved equality and everybody's free and equal to they all have equal access and everything's fine now.
Oh man, if everything was fine and we had equal access, we wouldn't need these fucking groups. Like these groups are absolutely needed. Everywhere is not a safe space for everybody. So having these groups give people not only a safe space but a sense of community for like you don't realize how ostracized you are until you realize that you're not the only one who realized it. If that
that's huge.
Wow. Right? Like I think it was, I've always known that certain places was like, holy shit, there's not a lot of us here, right? But like even recently, so I went to NAM in California, which is out in Anaheim, just huge fucking conference, right? Like got lost for at least 45 minutes to an hour in there just trying to figure shit out. You feel me? So fucking humongous. And I'm walking around and they're like people of every walk of life you can think of. You feel me? Flown in from here, every country, just all kind of shit. So like there's this big like music floor showcase where there's every goddamn instrument you can ever think of and never thought about that is there. Every producer, every plug-in, every like you name it, that shit is like the biggest interactive fucking guitar center that is as big as a fucking convention center type thing, right? It's amazing, but it is crazy. So there are bunch of fucking people here, right? And at the same time where there's this whole big ass market going on, there are different classes and like panels and shit going on all throughout the day. So I just realized there are certain, because I'm a fucking geek, right? But I'm going to certain panels and I'm just sitting there and you kind of look around and it's like, holy shit, like this whole panel are all cis white men, nothing wrong with it, but it's just like realizing like, holy shit, look around, it's like I am the only chocolate person in this room right now, you know what I'm saying? And then you kind of just sit back and realize like there's not a lot of representation for a lot of different people for real, but for myself it was saying like there's no black women on none of these panels, there are no black women in this audience, there are no gays up here, there are no thems, theirs, or theys. Like then I go even deeper, it's like there's no women period on this goddamn panel right now. You feel me? Like, goddamn, so when you're at a conference for like 2 or 3 days and you go to a bunch of different panels and you can count on maybe one hand how many had black women, or somebody that's black all together, you just realize like, holy shit, it's just still different. You feel me? Like it's still different. So it's crazy because like this next panel that I'm going to, that I'm actually like really excited to be a part of, I'm a part of a women's roundtable, right? So they're literally taking time where it's like, this is for you guys. Here are different subjects of what may be going on in kind of, women's lives or careers, and you guys can talk it out. And it's like, okay, cool. That's what's up. You feel me? Like a space for us to be. But now it's even motivating me to like do the work. So like next year I'm going to pitch the NAM like, we need a black woman in music business because we're not seeing period. You feel me? Like nobody knows we fucking exist. I'm walking past people and they're like, oh shit, you're a rapper. I'm like, this shit says artist development specialist on my badge for real. But it's like artist, you know what I'm saying? Like you look like the artist, you look cool type shit. And it's like, Jesus I look Christ. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does this mean?
What does that even mean? That is the most ridiculous.
Bro, shit is funny. That's what I'm saying.
It's a different R word. It's not ridiculous.
People always are like, so what's your streaming link? And I'm like, this shit says project manager on here, biggest day. Like, what the fuck are you talking about for real? But this is just how it is. Like, they already immediately like assume type shit. Like, I remember like talking to a friend who was there and somebody kind of asking her and telling her like, how'd you get on this panel? Like, you're really pretty. And I'm like, she's a fucking boss, bro. She used to work for Live Nation for I don't know how many years. She books the biggest shit in LA, and you're on some like, you're cute. That must be how you got on it. Like, what the fuck, bro? You're tripping, but
that's was it just Karen Civil? No, I'm just joking. No. I just joking.
It was not her. She probably would say it wasn't her, but it just was crazy. But it's just like, holy shit! Like either we're the artists, or we're just too cute, or we're still the fucking help. Like what the fuck is going on? But it's like
but these conferences are hustling backwards by not doing this, right? Because if you create these type of if you create like these panels, more people would sign up for them because they would see themselves in this, like, oh, I am interested in this, and maybe they then go to other things that are there.
There's no downside to it. That's why I can't understand why does why is it that when you say this is a women's roundtable, who does that bother? Why are they upset about that? You don't like it? Don't go. I mean,
Because
it's like,
they can't be there. That's what it is. Like sometimes a lot of them just really want to be in the room. They want to be part of the conversation. And it's like, this is why you need women on your team. It's like I always tell folks, like, you need at least 1 or 2 good women on your team. There's a different level of nurturing that we bring. So there are a lot of people who are like, why do they get their own shit? And I've literally asked folks like, so do you want to come, Todd? Like, do you want to just
yeah. What is the thing?
Do you want to attend? Do you want to talk about what you have going on so you can? It's like deep down inside. Yes, the fuck he does. Nobody has ever asked him how he felt about something. Nobody has ever asked him like how it affect him type thing. So yeah, Todd really just wants to come, but projection won't allow him to say, "Yo, that's a dope idea." Maybe we should get, a situation where we sit down with some gentlemen and we talk about how it is to be in the industry and what it is to deal with I don't know, like versus type shit, but that's actually a dope idea to sit down and have community. No, they'll never admit that something was a good idea if they can't be a part of it, yo.
Todd has a podcast. Todd can go talk to about his feelings. Everybody's got. By the way, to argue with Meta for a second or whatever the AI said, we're not a podcast. I don't like that. We're a live radio show.
In 5 hours, we will be a podcast. What are you talking about?
Because I do that.
Yeah, so we are a podcast.
Because somebody taught me that I have to do the things to make my show get out to other people. Now, I don't do all of those things, but I do know that I'm supposed to do those things. So I at least try. All right, so we have another important question. We haven't had you on since Kid Rock's amazing Super Bowl halftime show. So we want to know, what was your favorite part of that? And, feel free to go on for as long as you need.
Oh, my favorite part was like not having to watch that shit. Praise God. You feel me? Like, yo, not the American Badass. I cannot believe Kid Rock. I cannot believe like the whole AI situation of what they even tried to do. Like it was terrible. Like you really tried to go against Benito, but it's like it's Kid Rock. Y'all couldn't find nobody else better. Like what the fuck, bro? Kid Rock has not been relevant since what? He got mad at the beer company and then drank that shit later on that year. Like, come on,
yeah.
Like it's
so mad at Bud Light, he shot at it with a gun.
And then had the shit later years.
That's not how beer works, guy. I don't know like what your problem with that is.
So you paid for it to shoot it. You gave them your money to let them know that you were disgruntled. Just ass backwards.
It was funny because I was in Nashville not too long after that whole thing blew up, and I was checking to see how much Bud Light was in all the bars, and they had almost universally replaced it with Mick Ultra, which is made by the same company.
What?
So,
yeah. What?
It didn't make any sense to me, but I thought it was very funny. So, okay. Well, Jay, look, according to the AI, our show is only 134 minutes or 210 minutes or whatever it says. So we don't want to keep you all night, but we do want you to tell people where they can get in touch, how they can get, talk to you about the Awakening Project, or even just, get some of the regular stuff that you're always working on, and how they can follow along.
Definitely. So I'm everywhere, all over Beyonce's internet. JYokoENT.com is the website. I'm on every social media from MySpace to Instagram and all the meta shit. I just started this new series on YouTube because the only way that I can keep like my clients accountable is I have to do the same shit, if you would. So I started this new series called Nobody Told Y'all, which I'm doing like bite-sized kind of like educational pieces. I'm committing myself to doing one every goddamn week. I think I have 5 of them up so far, which I'm really patting myself on the back because this shit is wild. But again, it goes into the stance of trying to get people to kind of understand what this shit means in plain English, without always having a paywall, if you would. Now, listen, I don't have no problem with everybody getting their paper for it, but I also understand that like this is my dedication to the industry, if you will. Cool. I'll give you 2 minutes every week of just some free shit that I want you to learn. But besides that, trust me, if you pay for it, I'll give you everything you want. But I'm everywhere, if you would, social media wise. Shoot me an email if you're ever interested in anything. Everything's on my website. And I'm just here to try to help as many people understand this industry as possible. Because I mean, listen, art is cool, man. Music has always been love. Music has always saved people's life. And right now, there's a point where you can make dope ass music and you can get paid from it too. You just got to learn the rules to Monopoly so you can figure out how to win the goddamn game. So I'm just here to translate the rules. That way people can realize, like, yo, art is not dead. Art is what we live off. It's what we relish through, for real, for real. And if you understand how this industry works, you can twerk this shit and tweak this shit to make it to, you know, your advantage, if you would. That way you can make your art, you can be happy, and you can get paid and not have to live by their rules.
That's fantastic. All right. So when we post all the clips to the show, which again is a thing that I learned I'm supposed to do, which I actually do that. Brian makes the clips, but I post the clips.
Teamwork.
See, we have a team around us. That's how that works. Somebody doesn't contribute hardly anything to this show.
That's crazy because I'm here right now.
Yeah, it's right. He shows up one week
man.
a month.
All right. I show up
once
I run
a month.
my mouth for you guys to have clips to post, okay? So I look, damn it.
Yeah, we'll let Charlie and Patrick in on that too, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so all right, Jay. Well, we really appreciate you hanging out with us, and thank you for coming by.
Always
We're gonna have to probably call you in 6 months when the AI stuff takes our show.
I'll make sure they don't take it from me. But nah, I definitely keep y'all posted on some stuff that I'm definitely in the mix with, learning a couple of things and figuring some stuff out. So I definitely make sure that when I get some real good insight, we'll set up another session and get everybody informed, man.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really what we want to do. We want to spread the news, spread the love. All right, cool. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll let you get back to whatever it is that you were doing, which I'm sorry to interrupt you for what we did. And we'll be right back. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps. This is when
Yeah, I thought we discussed this. I mean, we both came to some type of agreement, didn't we? I thought, man.
Something's murky in the waters. Sip a taste and you won't find truth. Trying to take back what they owed us. You ain't ever gonna take my roots from me. Finding my way through this masquerade. Want to be free. It's not the way it's supposed to be.
Pink Natty on the horn about an offer. Man, agreed to meet a costa. Convinced I'll be perfect for the roster. Hate it when the situation feel that you gossip. Make the best of it, light years from truth. And you're feeling so desolate. Where the ever went, it died in the honeymoon. Headed to the races cause you gave a little running room. They trick you like a summer room when things got hot later. They switch to Darth Vader. Now I'm forced to believe in the empire. Hard to bring you up to see, but slick the entire. You catch the pocket pattern when things transpire. They lost what they never bought. I should have never bought into the BS. I was dreaming BS. Wake up in the morning and greet the BS. Crystal clear water saying why should I see less?
Something's murky in the waters. Sip a taste and you won't find truth. Trying to take back what they owed us. You ain't ever gonna take my roots from me. Finding my way through this masquerade. Want to be free. It's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure things out because we said it was like this. And then you said this, but now it's never gonna feel this way again. 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 Never gonna feel this way.
Even though it's hard to see, the wall over our eyes, trying to disguise, searching for silver in the light. Oh, I see. Flicker in the dark, the truth is in the heart. We can expose the lies, illuminate these burning out their minds.
It's already been televised. Lots of witnesses, alibis, evidence, sanitized, sanity, jeopardize your idea, your passion drive, now neutralize, utilize niggas that you knew now are shooting guys, unsupervised, dreams now euthanized, cause they was led astray. So let's take a moment and let us pray. Never gonna do this way again. 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 Never gonna do this way again.
Something's murky in the waters. Sip and taste and you won't find truth. Trying to take back what they owed us. You ain't ever gonna take my roots from me. Running my way through this masquerade. Be free. It's not the way it's supposed to be.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. Maybe. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez. Hey.
Yeah.
Are we on? We're on. Brian, what was that?
That was real music.
Yeah.
All right, clearly it had to be.
We figured that out.
That was from Red Herring featuring Booty Brown from the album Chasing Shadows.
There you go.
And
So
Booty
it's
Brown
Nubian-
will be
it's
our
the
next
Nubian
AI
Twist. That's
song
the name of the song, Nubian
next
Twist.
week.
Yeah, right. No Booty Brown. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, so now we got to talk about Iran. We'll skip the rundown label on this one because it's not. We don't want to do this. Breaking news: while we were doing radio, Pistol Grip Pete fired the head of the army.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Like in the middle of a war, as you do. Let's see. Hegseth asked the Army's top officer to step down and retire. And General Randy George had been expected to hold the job until the fall of 2027, which is usually, 4 years as chief of staff and as a member of the Joint Chiefs. But Hegseth decided no, and he fired 2 other Army generals along with him. It's not, that's not great. And like, here's the thing, right? So we want to talk about some Iran updates. Here's what's going on that we know of, right? And then this is the that we know of. Trump gave a speech last night where he said a lot of contradictory things. He's like, we've got a deal, it's about to be done, but also if they don't give me the deal that I want, which there's no indication that there's any real conversations going on between the United States and anybody in Iran. Except maybe, we'll get back to that.
I think there are because both sides, there are clearly conversations being had. Both sides are clearly lying.
Talking to who though, and that gets muddy. But Trump basically said, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to commit war crimes and destroy your civilian infrastructure. Which
Stone Age, right? Blasting back to the Stone Age.
Blasting back to the Stone Age, which that's. Destroying civilian infrastructure is illegal by U.S. law, not just like treaty. And so that would be a big problem. And it would get us to this constitutional crisis that we've talked about on the show several times of basically, would the military refuse orders that were illegal, right? They're obliged to do that, but who knows if they would. And maybe, and this is what I was thinking about all day as I was sort of thinking about how to talk about this on the show, people might say, oh, this war seems kind of like ill-planned and ill-timed, and it's just sort of happening. It seems like it's out of the blue, but it's not that. I think that what's happening here is that when Trump first came in, they ransacked the Pentagon and took out a lot of the top brass. They took out the people with the experience and the people who knew anything. And I think they were sort of doing a loyalty purge. And then
bad information war. Yeah, like it started because he's been getting bad information.
Yeah, well, he's getting information that he wanted to hear but wasn't like verified, right? He wanted to go to war. I don't think Trump got tricked into this by any stretch.
No, I think presidents in their second term are more likely to go to war because it's more legacy building.
Yes. for sure. And it's clear also that the Israelis dog walked the United States right into this.
But, exactly. And it's crazy because everybody's afraid of having that conversation because it could be under the guise of being anti-Semitic, like the Jews are now, but no, the Israeli government, and no one's saying the Jewish people. We're saying the Israeli government, another government. It could be any government. Pick any other government.
Allied government. That's the thing.
Allied government. Yeah.
If your ally goes and starts the war, you got to go with them, or you're gonna just be collateral damage. And that's I think Rubio accidentally said that part out loud early on, and so there's that. But anyway, what I was thinking about all this is that we're right up at that point, right, where the illegal order is being given live on network television,
right?
And would the Jags allow such an order, to go through?
The problem is, if they disobey it, you almost have to invoke the 25th Amendment immediately.
Almost.
You have to then do that. Like, the cabinet has to do that.
And then, but they won't.
They won't. But then, because now we're in a weird situation. The army has now said to the leader of the army, nah, bro, we're not doing this. So it's like two options. You either get rid of the leader of the army, which there is a mechanism to do that,
which they just did,
or the arm. Well, no, but the commander of the army, excuse me, if the troops are no longer taking a direction because it's illegal from the president, then I do think you have to invoke, or the cabinet would have to invoke the 25th Amendment. Well, the only other option is a military coup.
See, that's the thing that I'm worried about, right? We've talked about that a lot of times, and
I'm scared that I'm saying I would trust the military more because that's a tricky thing that you shouldn't say, because we've seen that play out in other areas. However, I do almost feel like the United States military, based on their specific ethos, not the one from the jackass from Secretary of Defense, but I do find them to be like, no, we do not do this. We are doing this because of the Constitution. Hey, go ahead. You can't have a random election in the middle of the thing, but yeah, I mean, it goes to JD Vance, I guess, or someone like that, and you keep it moving. Like, I don't know. I really don't know.
The mechanism of it is hard to see, but what I can see very clearly is we're at the stage of like, go do this thing, and no, sir, I'm sorry, that's illegal. I can't do that. Okay, you're out. Next guy up. Are you going to do it? No, I'm not going to do it. Okay, next guy up. And you just keep working your way down that list until you get somebody who's willing to do it. We saw that at DOJ. We're seeing that now. We saw that at FBI. We're seeing that now in the armed forces. I do think that this is where we're going with this, and to eliminate the chief of staff of the army, albeit that the army is not the one doing the majority of the fighting right now in Iran, but that to do that mid-war is usually a crisis of confidence. If you think about the history of when top generals are being removed during a war, it's usually because something's going poorly. If you think about the history of that, and why did MacArthur get fired? It's not because he was winning. So right. It's that kind of thing that you got to worry about. And then, part of this, it's not, that's the other thing I was kind of really thinking about is like, the military does a lot of planning, right? These guys are like super well prepared. They've got contingencies for everything. They think up and scheme out and war game out even the dumbest, most harebrained ideas they can think of. They're ready to do it in case somebody comes up with it, right? And so they had the plans for what to do in Iran if given a certain circumstance or whatever, and they were ready and able to execute, which clearly they've done nearly flawlessly. I mean, the level of casualties is very low for the Americans anyway. But it just doesn't seem like the strategy was thought out. The tactical is working great.
Yeah, the president didn't have a plan. He was given first of all, we've known from the beginning of we can go back to, maybe 30, 40 years at this point, that if we ever attacked Iran, that the first thing they would do was close the strait. That isn't but it's clear
new
that
information.
It's not new information. It's clear it caught that the administration flat-footed. They weren't prepared for that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm wondering. How is that possible? Because like I'm saying,
the military, because it's clear the military gives that information to the president. The president did not prepare for that.
So you think that they went into a briefing and said, sir, we're ready to execute on what you're doing, and these are the likely contingencies that we're going to come across. They're going to shoot at our bases in the Gulf, and they're going to close the straits, and they're going to try to shoot at Israel with ballistic missiles. Are you ready? We have ways to handle that. Are you ready?
I'll concede this. Someone told somebody that information might have been omitted when it was told to the president.
You think it was not told to him, or do you think that it was told to him and he just said, fuck it, I think we can do it?
No, I do find him to be, I think there's a hubris with what happened with Venezuela. I think that plays into it.
Sure.
And I do think he probably was not given all the information, because I do find the man, almost specifically around war, this seems a little, this is out of his realm of how he goes about things. I think if you look at Venezuela, right, quick, fast strikes, that's the only way he can make it palatable to his base, right? I think if you look at Soleimani and that killing right there, which I was appalled by, because I was like, yikes, why would you do that? And I think outside of COVID happening, that could have been, if COVID didn't happen right afterwards,
that would have been the hornet's nest that he kicked.
I think so. I was fully planning on what we're doing now to happen after that. But I think
I think that was possible. I mean, I was pretty sure that they were going to shoot at Qatar right away.
Immediately. But I do think, he thought this would be Venezuela, and I'm like, no, it's 90 million people in this country.
Yeah, I don't know that he thought that. If I had to guess, what I think is going on is that the military came, he said, I want to do something like this. And they said, okay, here's what we can do. Here's what we've got the ability to do. Here's what we think is likely to happen. And here's how we're going to respond when and if that happens. And he goes, is it going to work? And they go, the military is never going to say no. They're going to say, yeah, it's going to work. Like we're confident. We've planned this. We've schemed this. We're ready. We've got the equipment. And he goes, if you think it's going to work, it's going to work. And he probably got them on, like you saw, he kind of threw Hegseth under the bus a little bit too. He's like, that was his idea. It just seems like, basically he got told that this was a possibility, but that it was handleable. And so he goes, yeah, let's go. Let's try it. Let's see what's the worst that can happen, he probably said. And this is the worst that can happen. We're in that.
I don't know if this is the worst. I think the worst.
Well, it's going that way.
Yeah.
What I really wanted to talk about tonight about this is, like, we've burned up a lot of our ammo. Let's call it that, right? Whether it's interceptors, whether it's things for attacking stuff and like whatever. Our command and control is sort of out there and open for everybody to see where it's working, where it's not working. It's clear that the administration is strategically misinformed, we'll give them that, right? Or at least unbalanced, and that our attention is completely focused on only one thing with no ability to manage anything else, which to China probably looks like a massive opening and looks pretty scary. Now, I know China doesn't want to shoot their number one customer, but
not yet,
but they might make some other moves that are less obvious. I don't think they go after Taiwan exactly, but they probably are moving stuff in the shadows in ways that we're not really thinking about, whether it's about moving more material into other places, or whether it's about cyber warfare or any of those other kinds of things that you just don't see on the surface.
Everyone, if you have a chance, go to The Economist's website, and the article is how China hopes to win from the war. And the imagery of Xi Jinping smiling with a blurred out Donald Trump with his mouth agape, like, it is just so telling. Like, it's one of the more jarring images I've seen in some time. because it's like, oh, we're on the cusp of losing this all. Like, with the balance of power will shift from the Imperial Americans to the seems to some, like, again, China is positioned themselves to be like, hey, say whatever the hell you want. Don't look at the Uyghurs, but like we are the stable country here.
They've got their own problems in terms of stability and stuff, and demographic problems and all of that kind of thing. But they just look like they're sort of not causing trouble, which is a minimum at this point. But it does. I don't know. I think that
And I think Taiwan isn't. I think we already Taiwan is already set up, but is it 2028 or 2029? I think is like what the military has already said. I think that's why. Why wouldn't they do that? Like, we are getting, like, we're almost setting it up for them to do this. I think we look at Russia's relationship with Iran, right? And I think some of the attacks that have happened were from information that was been provided by the Russians. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It really seems like it's almost, I mean, obviously with the sanctions relief and all this stuff with the Russian oil flowing and stuff, it does seem like it's a bit of a gift to them. To
the Russian oil, the Iranian oil,
both of them.
Cool. Like, again, we lifted it off of the country that we're bombing. And I get how they tried to frame this, like, oh, well, there's money, it's already out there, it's in the sea, we might as well use it. This is correct. We always are like, oh, this is no way to run an economy. This is surely not the way to do a war.
No, it is, and it's baffling to me. And that's what I'm just kind of on this idea that, like, we're kind of showing our ass at the maximum level here. And it's very easy for the Chinese not just to outright grab something, but to just continue to grow their sphere of influence and sort of realignment of the globe. Well, one of the things, I know that Kai Risdall listens to our show. Here's how I know. We have talked endlessly on this show about how the tariffs and all of these other bonehead things are going to cause an economic realignment where the world goes around us. And just this week on Marketplace, that was exactly their lead story, was that the world is reorienting its economy so that it doesn't flow through New York and San Francisco. And that is a big problem, because the whole way that America works in the post-war era is we won the war, we set the rules, everybody else is working to develop to become like us, right? We're growing civil society, we're growing democracy, we're growing freedom, and that eventually everybody will start to operate sort of like America, and we'll have a laws-based world system. And then we broke that entirely by having a not laws-based government doing stuff like this, and then and attacking Iran, and we don't have any capability to defend ourselves. And if there was a need to ramp up production the way there was during the war, where GM started making tanks or whatever, that ability to turn on a dime and turn on the American war machine, it doesn't exist anymore. Raytheon can't make bombs fast enough to replace what they're using up. And, our allies they're not getting their stuff.
Well, the country hasn't gotten, we haven't, like, I think the country can do it. One, it's not been asked of them yet, right? And one, it's not, I don't think the cause of the war, right? No one can justify this. Like,
clearly, it's not an easy thing to rally everybody around.
World War II clearly, I mean, not clearly, because it took us forever to get into it, but like, once the Japanese blow up goddamn fucking Pearl Harbor, which is a great quote from that guy. Fucking,
oh my god!
I literally, it's rare that I have the secondhand embarrassment. I was like, oh god,
it was admittedly funny, but
it was very funny. Like, I mean,
it was very funny. But the way that Takaishi's face was like, what the fuck? Like, clearly she speaks English.
Yeah.
She heard that and she's like, huh?
What did he just say? Sneak attack. But again, I think that's clear. I don't think you could. I mean, you get private industry unless they were forced to, right? To contribute to any of this right now, right? A private industry looks at
doesn't get anything done, and the people aren't, if they're not into it, they're not into it. They're not going to sacrifice. You see that now with Trump trying to tell everybody, oh yeah, pay your high gas prices. It's all your sacrifice to be a patriot or whatever. Everybody's like, fuck you, man.
People were bought into going to Afghanistan. Like I remember the whole country was bought into that one. Not Iraq. Yeah, not Iraq. I'm not saying the Iraq War. I'm saying to go attack Afghanistan, I watched the country rally behind someone that 10, 11 months earlier that people despised. Like, they were frustrated. Again, it was a constitutional crisis. That damn shit. There was like, again, the Supreme Court's ruling, right? And all that. Yeah, the hanging chads. Yeah, but then I watched a year later where the whole country rallied behind that cause because they felt it was a just cause. And they were like, no, because again, that's what turns Americans, right? Like, oh my God, they just knocked down our fucking chicks.
Yeah, if you fuck with us, we're gonna fuck with you. Bad.
And everyone comes together on that, for better or for worse. So,
but I
it's not here. It's not this.
I don't see Americans like rallying because Kuwait got bombed.
No,
right? Like, it's and even if there was a story on the radio today about how they were evacuating all the people in the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, and that they were, hightailing it back here to Norfolk and a bunch of other places, and that they don't have any stuff, right? That they're the veterans organizations and the service organizations and the American Legion and all that stuff had to like rush pillows to Norfolk to or put these guys in hotels and their families and stuff, because they just schlepped them out of there super fast because they're all getting bombed. Like, that's the kind of thing what I'm saying. Like, it just seems rudderless. It seems reactionary instead of planned. It's not strategic in any way. And then this threat to commit a war crime in retaliation for not getting whatever it is that you want, without saying what it is that you want.
We don't know exactly.
We don't know what it is that he wants. We don't know what a deal means. We don't know who he's talking to. We know that Pakistan has been willing to play intermediary here, but it's not clear who in Iran really is in a position to make any real decisions. And and this idea that he can just walk away and leave that to whoever, forgets that of course Iran has a vote in that, right? And they can shoot at things and they can cause all kinds of problems. That the Israelis have a vote in that because they can shoot at things and cause all kinds of problems. And that Iran can do things outside of the region. Like, they're so focused on the Strait right now that they forgot that Iran's got capabilities worldwide. And we're one 11 o'clock news story away from supposed sleeper cell commits X crime in, Kansas City or whatever. So everybody,
a lot of big events over the next 9 months.
Yeah, it just seems really bad.
Big events in the it's clear though, as we come closer and closer to 200, we're not there yet, but as we get closer and closer to $200 a barrel for oil, I do think that's what pulls it back. But the problem ends up being what you just said, right? If the Americans leave and say, well, this is done tomorrow, that doesn't mean Israel says it's done tomorrow. That doesn't mean Iran says it's done tomorrow. And it doesn't end with these prices. The way he framed it last night was, we stop this and then the Strait opens up. It'll open.
He says it's just going to open up naturally. Crazy. What the fuck does that mean?
First of all, it's already open naturally. Actually, it's an open.
That's a strait. That's how it works.
It's how it works.
An open bit of water between
two. Open bit of water. Yeah, and I know we have this teed up here, but you don't send as many troops, right, as he's done already if you're not going to use them. It's similar to when they started moving all of this personnel into the Middle East. All right, clear, you're going to use them. Those folks are not going there to just hang out. There will be some type of invasion.
Yeah, their argument is that they're going there to give him the option to invade. But you're right. I mean, you don't move that much material unless you're pretty likely to use it. That's an expensive proposition, and It's also, it leaves you vulnerable. Those guys that are there, those Marine Expeditionary Forces that got brought over there, they were not waiting around. They were doing other things, keeping other Chinese countries from fucking up other places, right? Their job is to like the presence of the United States military worldwide is mostly about keeping everybody cool. And for the longest time, that came with a security guarantee, and now it kind of comes with a target. And it has wrecked the reputation, and it's a thing that I don't think we get it back. And it's, you know, the thing about the Strait is kind of the same thing. Once you undo this stuff and people like can conceive of another choice, they're not going to go back. So now that Iran like is not just theoretically controlling the Strait and could mine it and could charge people to go through it, they're just going to do that. Even if everything calms down and there's no more shooting, they're going to start putting up a toll booth right there, and they're going to charge ships to go through there. Why wouldn't they? And under threat of what? They're under the threat right now.
Yeah, it's
we're blinking.
It's difficult. I mean, the only thing that's possible, and it's not going to happen with this administration, is creating some type of framework after this to allow Iran to then get back into the global economic order, which again was done, right? And I don't know what that looks like now. But that's the only carrot. That's the only carrot that they would probably care about.
Yeah, but what we have done by doing this, what Trump has done by doing this, is he has increased the value of control of the Straits of Hormuz exponentially, in a way that is not going to go back, because the old system was this. Iran knew they could close it. They could charge ships to pass through it or whatever, but they didn't, because they knew that if they really impeded navigation there, that the United States Navy would show up and blast them to kingdom come. And now the United States Navy has showed up and has failed to blast them into anything. And the lesson they've learned is, oh shit, we can get away with this. And who's going to stop them? Certainly not Trump. Trump's not even willing to send any serious naval firepower there. He's sending carriers to bomb things on land, but he's not sending the real fleet to do anything about it. And he's begging the English to come and do it, which he called their boats a bunch of fucking toys, which is not true, by the way. They're a real navy.
The former greatest navy that the world has ever seen. Right?
To call the British Navy toys is really something.
That's the one thing they know is boats, man.
Yeah. You know, they listen to like that boat forecast all night long, right? That's like their thing. They love that. I know it's your thing. You're one of them, but okay. So, and this gets worse too, right? Because the Israelis now are in Lebanon. They've expanded into Lebanon.
That's kind of crazy that we're doing that again.
We're doing that again. And not only that, but now you've got some far-right nut jobs in the government who are talking about we're going to do the Gaza model in Lebanon, which is terrifying. Yeah. Terrifying. Couple that with new laws where they get to hang every Palestinian that ever looks at an Israeli.
Settlers obviously are always going off, but they're on a fucking rampage too.
But the settlers can't get tried for doing anything, and they're out here literally kidnapping CNN journalists live on television, and that's the only way they got caught was because they were capturing Americans live on television. They're doing God knows what to everybody else, and stealing land is the sort of like low end of this problem at this point. They're onto a genocide in the West Bank. So it's the whole thing is going very poorly for everybody. And his solution was to give this long, stupid speech, which doesn't calm anything down. It doesn't like give us even like a central rallying idea. There's nothing.
The markets, again, as to quote Kai Rizzo, are idiots. And to watch that morning when they announced he's doing the 9 o'clock, the prime time address, right? Everything, oil drops below 100. The markets start to shoot up because they expect, they expect him to. I thought people expected him to end this that night, last night.
I don't know anybody who thought that.
The markets moved as if he was going to end it. Like if it's gonna be like, hey, and again, clearly they don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, this is it. You can't run up to the summer with $200 barrel oil.
You can't run through.
You can.
traveling aspect of this.
Yeah.
This is planting season.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't, you fuck the farmers again. Like, I mean, and you can't keep doing this, because I know everybody's just always down on the American people, because right, the American people are the reason we're here, in a sense, right?
75 million of them voted for this.
75 million, right? But when we talk about what's gonna break people out of this, like, I think we're here with this.
$5 gas is certainly a thing. If corn prices, like it's
what are we talking about? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just
there are gonna be different people protesting outside of the fucking White House, and and also too, right? They're about to get destroyed in the midterm, right? No matter what. Like, I know you're saying it's not gonna have a midterm. It will be clear that they will have lost the midterm. Now, how these people get seated, that's a different story.
That's a different thing. And look, we could get to that later, but I'm just despairing of this idea that like everything that 3 or 4 generations of Americans built over the last 100 years is being undone in the course of 2 4-year terms that half the country voted for.
I mean, and they have the right to do that. Like I always tell folks, like, I mean, everybody has the right to, like, one of the scary things about democracy is like you have the right to burn the whole shit down. You can vote to burn it all down. But again, I don't think it's the end, right? And that's the thing. It's like and that's the problem I've had with.
I don't know how we fix it. There's not enough
that
time to fix it.
Americans never had. This is a newer thing over the last, I would say, the 10, 15 years, where Americans in the past, I felt, were like, oh, no. Well, of course we'll fix it because we're Americans. We always fix it. And I think it's that type of fucking, like, which can also get you to where we're at now. But it's kind of that American idealism that is lost, that I think is the actual gas that powers this country, that actually powers the people in this country. That whether it's not true, right, a lot of the times, but it's the belief of it, and people have lost the belief. And I think it's a very scary thing when people stop believing in things, right? That's the problem I have with it.
I agree with that, but I think the difference is that when it's like, of course we'll fix it, is because the thing that broke it was never ourselves. And now it's like, oh, the thing we have to fix is our own failure. Like, we did this. We have to fix our own. We're up against that same ability of Americans to always persevere and always get things done. We're on both sides of that fight.
I think,
right?
but you gotta add the context to this, right? I mean, you look at the lack of turnout, right, between in 2020 in 2016, right, which leads to him going ahead. Like, again, if there was the normal turnout for that election, if people weren't so soured on Hillary Clinton, right, whether a variety of reasons, the first one being misogyny, right, and then you can go down the list from there, right? Then again, she should win that election. If you look at, again, Joe Biden, right, probably, like as he said, should have not ran again, right? If you give us a 2-year running window to hold an actual primary to make sure people feel like the Democratic, like, again, I don't see him getting elected again. I think some of that, to me, like, has to also be part of the story of how we got here. Yes, a majority of folks, like a decent amount of folks, did vote for him. But again, how we get here, I think there's still more context around that. And at this point, I mean, God, hey, number one, I mean, he will probably try to run again for whatever reason. There's some reason there. But yeah, no, it's clear as day. Everybody know, like, you're hearing people now, like, clear as day, right? You keep hearing them say this. It's like,
I heard that towards the end of his first term too, that the Trumpistas were saying things like, this isn't what I voted for. I feel like I've been had. And they got 4 years to think about it, and they all just came right back to him.
Those people came back to him, but also folks who didn't vote for him did vote for him.
Yeah,
I know.
The
reason he won. And the reason that happened is because, again, it's a variety of reasons, right? I mean, one, again, I do believe Joe Biden should have, again, stepped aside and said, in 2 years into that, he passes the bills that are going to change this country, hopefully, for the next 60 years. I still believe that, right? Those infrastructure.
No, I think
I disagree with what you're saying.
But
no, I'm
Okay.
very interested. What do you disagree
I-
specifically about?
Okay, I really do. I hear what you guys been saying, and I believe the simple fact is this: whatever you deal with the con man will always try to, especially if he comes back to you again, tries to smooth you over with something newer to put out. And that's what he kind of did. And the new thing that he put out there was a simple fact of just the fact that, again, it was the eggs. It was the simple, those things. Figured it's like, because he got us with the simple fact of everything's going up.
Those
The
are real
economy
things.
wasn't the economy wasn't what everyone thought it would be and all that stuff. And he played everybody with that.
Are the people not victims? Are you not a victim of a con? That's my question.
No, of course
These
they
people
are.
aren't. The Trumpistas are not. They're not going to claim they're going to be
Set the
victims.
Trumpistas to a certain, because I don't think everybody set the Trumpistas, which are 25 to 30% of folks, right? That doesn't win you the election. Are the other folks who voted for him? Are they not victims of this?
They are.
Those who voted for let's say the ones that are, as in the modern day term, is the ones that are in the middle that end up voting for him. I really think they're just simply uneducated.
Yes.
Because
so
there's
then
just
they are
no way
victims.
in the world for you to not realize what happened 4 years ago. And
But
surprisingly enough, or not surprisingly enough, it's happening again, because this man and his policies, I wouldn't call them policies, they're just wings of venture for him. He's not coherent of what's really going on in his plan. He's not. I've always said this: we haven't had a 21st century president since Obama. Let's be fully clear here. Obama is a 21st century president,
and Trump stuck in
W
the 80s
wasn't, and Trump isn't. And
Right.
even though well, what are you talking about? Because the simple fact is, because their policies, the way they work things, and the way they do things are 20th century styles. And the thing is like the way this country and what Blair did, not this country, the way this plan is working now, it is a more global economic system. Everybody works together to make
21st
things
century,
work.
Man. I don't like. What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
that okay, but that's not really where the problem lies.
Yeah, no, there is a problem. The problem is the fact it's like when you have a person whose ideology is so ancient, it's not going to work. And he's trying to put a square in a circle. That's what he's doing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
And everybody who votes for him feels like, oh, just force it in there, we'll get it done and all that stuff. And everyone's not realizing is, dude, this is not working.
But back to what Jay said, the microwave generation that we're in, right? People want these things quickly, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's it.
Okay, so like what Tez said earlier about the belief thing, right? That Americans are losing belief in the system, and that's the problem. Here we just saw the rapid swing. If you thought about what Trump did in his first term and say, okay, that was massively damaging to this country, there's no way we're going to make that mistake again.
Coup at the end.
Right.
Yeah, with a coup at the end. Okay, we're not going to make that mistake. It's going to take a long time to fix the damage, but we're going to put our nose to the grindstone. We're going to get this done, and we're going to put everything back how it's supposed to go. Now we've got to rebuild the fucking east wing of the White House. You're going to probably have to rebuild the goddamn Kennedy Center. He's going to build some stupid arch in the middle of the mall. Like, it's just the physical aspects of it are going to be massive. What's got to be done to erase this, to take this back and remove it, and then to put us back on the path. And if you think that Americans,
what you have to do, what you really have to do,
Americans have the attention span and the commitment to stick with it long enough and not just go, oh, this shit sucks, I want to vote for something else, you're crazy. Our attention span is not significant enough.
I get that. I trust and believe. I truly get that. But the key
that
thing
was for
here,
Ted. I'm with you, Brian.
Okay. The key thing here is,
you don't believe in the American people. It's crazy.
Because we can't. Here's what you. This is what we need to do. But here's what we really seriously need to do. Pray to God, we will have 26 elections. We'll have a good blue wave, meaning that the Congress is strictly Democrat, you have to seriously get him out. We have to do what South Koreans did. We have to do what a lot of other countries have done.
You have to wait till he's out of office. You can't
what
do
England did. They got Prince Andrews for a reason. You have to
can't
get the
do
point
it. You
where
don't have the votes. You don't.
it's not about the votes. It is
about the votes. It's America. It's always about the votes. What do you mean? It's the only
if
way
we
you
end up with 60 in the Senate, then it is about the votes, and do it anyway.
There's not going to be 60 in the Senate. All right, everybody, let's just calm down. There's not going to be 60.
I think that let's say that I really think if the American people are so upset, I understand this. This is this real sad part where we're presented to just only two options. That's the real sad part of this system. Is we used to be able to show maybe 3 or 4. But by roughly, let's say for the last 50 years, is we are fully presented just 2 options.
Well, being a 2-system party is part of the problem, but in this case, it's not just that. It's that like the choice is end of democracy or not, right? Those are
no
the
one
two
believes
choices.
that though. That's the other thing. When you have a worldwide known paper stating that about roughly 8 years ago and not doing it now, that's a problem. I mean,
I don't think we're solving that right now. I just like
it's a good
the war is
discussion.
bad. The war is getting worse. It's gonna suck in more stuff.
Wait. I thought this was like an aggression or whatever what that word is.
Excursion.
Thank you. I just wanted to get to fully know what that is.
All right.
I thought it was.
That's a truck they don't make anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, they might start making it.
No,
again,
they back to making the excursions.
They are. Imagine how much it costs to fill up your excursion right now.
Yeah.
$200 to fill up your excursion. That thing does 10, 12.
Yes.
Tinted
windows.
It's better now. But yeah, okay. Let's move on to lighter things. We're finally gonna make Tez explain to us the Moltbook Facebook thing.
So if you remember, we talked
about these dead ass birds.
There we go.
Dead ass humans. So if you remember a few shows back, maybe like 4 weeks at this point, we talked about Moltbook. What is Moltbook, right? It's a social network for AI agents. And you know what company saw this and was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna buy this. You guessed it, our good friend Mark Zuckerberg went ahead and acquired Moltbook. I don't think we have a purchase price still on what this is. And yeah, this was very interesting to me because obviously Meta is full on with AI at this point, and they're using this, right? Like this agentic strategy, right, is like prioritizing AI generated engagements, and they're hoping that the human users will bite on this. But yeah,
and they're behind on it.
And they're behind on it. I mean, because you know, they thought in the pandemic, they thought the metaverse was going to be what took off, right? Exactly. That didn't take off at all. Right. So what happened again? The acquisition of Moltbook, and then they're bringing these agentic AI systems into Meta, right? And we don't really know where this is going to go. But again, like AI agents, most folks probably know this time, but if you don't, right, they go out and they do tasks for users, right? So like, and using some of these platforms, what did I use last time? I was playing around with something called Replit, right? But you could go in and I could be like, hey, I don't know, I created, let's just do in my field, an IT security workshop, and I want you to now take this IT security workshop and gamify it, turn it into a game, right, that I could send out to end users to play, right? And then instead of me actually coding it, doing that, like the agents will go ahead and do this. But again, we don't know necessarily why this is happening, but if you think about whether it's any of the properties that Meta owns, whether it's WhatsApp, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, you know, this could be change things, right? Because now when you're on many of those platforms, you could have these AI agents doing the work. So I mean, obviously we'll follow this, but I think at this point we should always be wary when Facebook or Meta purchases anything.
I think we should be wary of any of these AI everythings.
I mean, yeah, because the agents, I mean, just to tie this together, right? A lot of folks are probably aware of this too. Huge news story that Anthropic, right? Claude agents leaked the whole open source, like they leaked the whole code. And immediately people have now created, which I actually think is actually a good thing. People have created open source versions. There's an open source version of Claude code at this point where you can kind of go ahead and build this out. Actually, one of my good friends and a leader in this industry, Rafi Kakorian, has a great newsletter on how to do this. Actually, he breaks the whole thing down for you. And it's a great newsletter called Renters Not Owners. So go check that out. But
the worry for me about this agent stuff is that, like, instead of giving it a specific task, go build me this one thing. You're saying my schedule is very full. Manage all of this other stuff for me, and then it just does it. It's like having an assistant, but it's operating on your behalf with your and it's generating things
on your behalf. Yeah,
on your behalf, as if it's a paid human being, but it doesn't have judgment. It doesn't. It's just what's the most likely set of language that would come next out of Chip's mouth.
And remember when we talked about the Maltbook story initially, right, on how they started talking in their own language and things of that nature inside of Maltbook. I think that's the issue that we have with all of this right now, is that we can't control the agents once they start doing their own thing
and relating to each other and learning from each other and generating for each other. It's like having several large language models all feeding each other at the same time. I think this is Skynet. I'm very concerned about that.
I mean, yeah, it is that.
Could you imagine an AI me? Like, think about how annoying that would be. But then think about how annoying it would be if it then got really good at all of this other stuff that I'm bad at. And it like took off and created a whole nother thing, in my likeness or in my tone or whatever. Like, that'd be terrifying. You got to be very careful about this. I think the cat's out of the bag. I mean, what do we do now?
I think you need to create these models that don't all live on cloud. I think that's a big piece. I think because if you have these models that are not on, like, you can kind of start to
pull the plug when they get out of
plug a little bit easier. This also comes down to kind of regulation, which there's no appetite. There's deregulation. There's appetite for deregulation around.
Not only that, but you can regulate it all you want. The Chinese ain't regulating it. The North Koreans ain't regulating it. Just find somebody making it someplace that they're going to be able to stay outside of the regulations. There ain't no way to control that.
I mean, I wonder, though, when we say that the Chinese aren't regulating, I wonder if it's the opposite. I mean, if the Chinese regulated the internet, right?
Yeah. But what I mean is that there's nothing to stop them from making these things and unleashing them, in the freer parts of the internet, or whatever. There's this, I mean, the internet's worldwide. I don't know if you know this, but it's a whole series of tubes.
It's a web.
And yeah, it's a web, a worldwide one. And it, so whatever you ban in one place, it's just gonna pop up someplace else. There's a whole dark web. God knows what they're doing out there. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. It should have never done this.
I mean, there was no stopping. You're not stopping technology, right? I mean, yeah. And
I'm not trying to be a Luddite or anything about it, but I'm.
There's a cautious approach that we should be taking with this that we are not. We are taking more of a venture capitalist approach with this in all avenues, where we should be taking more of a civil society approach. But we've never done that with technologies. We've never.
You just think that if it goes bad, we'll be able to get a hold of it and fix it fast enough.
And this is the one that we might. This might be a bad bet.
Yeah, I think it would be bad. I think it's bad. Speaking of bad, Trump lost in court again, a billion more times. It turns out that he can't just ban NPR and PBS from existing. The judge ruled in a First Amendment case. He said the ruling was a decisive affirmation of the rights of free and independent press and a win for NPR. That was from the NPR statement. Court made clear that the government cannot use funding as a lever to influence or penalize the press, whether as the national news service or in a local newsroom. And Trump's executive order targeted NPR and PBS, and it's the judge wrote that it crossed the line because it singles out two speakers and on the basis of their speech bars them from all federally funded programs. First Amendment does not tolerate viewpoint discrimination and retaliation of this type. And it was a long ruling, but it almost kind of doesn't matter. It's a symbolic win because the Corporation for Public Broadcasting doesn't exist anymore. So, but it does mean that like some of this other money that was kind of bound up by this executive order is now released or should be released. He probably just won't follow it. You have to go to court to push the money out. But in any case, it's just like, we've talked about it enough, but the courts are the one that are bending, but they haven't broken yet. And they're doing this stuff. It is symbolic.
I think that's good. I think it's good. Actually.
It is good because when we have to rebuild everything, we'll have something to base it off of, right? We'll have these court rulings and we'll say, all right, we're going to follow these rulings, and where the executive wouldn't enforce them before, now we will. That's the thing that you're going to have to do. And you'll have a legal basis from which to do it instead of have this, like, this is what we think is right and wait for challenge in court kind of problem.
I think what we also need to work on as well, too, is, right, we spent the last 40 years, specifically the Republicans, right, the Federalist Society, folks like that, John Roberts, right, Barr, all of these folks have found ways of trying to give the executive more power. It's clear now that we need to have a flip side of that is given more power to Congress, honest. And again, I know that sounds crazy because Congress doesn't actually work, but I think we have better chance of trying to fix that because you can fix that by votes, right? You vote, you can fix that. But it is clear we need to pull back executive power at this point. It should have never been this way. Yeah.
You see it at the state level where some of the state legislatures are working to try to, as the laboratories of democracy, as they say, who are doing these things to try to be more responsive to the needs of the voters in a way that more similarly reflects the earlier versions of what a legislature for, by, and of the people looked like back when it was.
Right.
So remains to be seen there. Another federal judge ruled that the ballroom has to stop. Can't build the ballroom, they said. $400 million project. No ballroom. Look at that guy, Judge Richard Leon. What do you, wow, look at him.
That's a great image.
What a photo. Good job, Brian. The president of the United States is the steward of the White House for future generations of first families. He is not, however, the owner, wrote Leon in a 35-page ruling. What do you need 35 pages for? No statute comes close to giving the president the authority that he claims to have, he wrote. Leon, who's a W appointee, also wrote that Trump has not identified a law that allowed him to demolish the East Wing. He just did it without any legal justification. And, of course, Trump said that this was bullshit and he was mad. He says, here, this really dumb statement here from spokeswench David Engel. President Trump clearly has the legal authority to modernize, renovate, and beautify the White House. And then it says, just like all his predecessors did, who did not knock down any of it. So that's not how that works. And they got to go back to Congress for this. Now, Congress doesn't work. Congress isn't going to do anything. The National Capital Planning Commission met today, which they voted to, this is okay. You can continue on. They're all made of Trump loyalists anyway.
Right.
It's not a ballroom. It's a command center and a bunker. And he's not going to leave. That's what this is. It's not a fucking ballroom. This is what he's doing so that he can, safely be ensconced when the next coup takes place. I know I sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, but that's what's happening. Mark my words. You can clock it on this show.
Well, he's not going to be able to finish it in time to even do this.
What do you mean in time? There's no time limit. There's no elections. It's just going to keep going.
There are elections.
Nope. That's how it goes. All right. This one's called, that's not going to work there, Hoss. He signed a EO on Tuesday that purports to change the rules for mail-in ballots. The order directs the U.S. Postal Service to send ballots only to voters who appear on a list of citizens to be compiled by DHS. Those guys who are so great at getting everything else done. and are unfunded at the moment, with the assistance of the Social Security Administration. Again, doged. There's nobody there. I don't know who they're going to get to build this list. The order also specifies what type of secure envelopes can be used. None of that's legal. The Constitution specifically gives the power to regulate elections to the states and Congress, not the executive at all. You can't do that. So this is stupid on its face. He's already tried this once before, and then he voted by mail immediately after saying that.
Oh
this
my
is
God, that was crazy. He said, "Because I'm the president."
Yeah, it's like it's different for me. Okay, there, guy.
No one's. I'm telling you, people hear that, and I swear at their dinner tables, they're like, "Oh, Sally, I don't get it. He's telling us not to vote for mail by mail, but he did it." People are saying that. I don't think humans are, again, just a human. I think you can listen to that and be like, "Well, that doesn't seem right."
Like, yeah, every once in a while the reporters will catch these guys and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, well Trump's done everything that he said he would do," and they go, "Oh yeah, like which things?" And they go, "Well, I can't think of any right now, but I'll get back to you." And you're like, guys,
and I get it. I get it, right? Because it's hard to, at a certain point, to just say like what you believed in, right? Because this is a belief thing. Everything you believed in you've been hoodwinked. And the question always that I have around this is, how do you accept these people back into society? Because you do.
I always ask that, and the answer is you don't. You put them on a barge in the North Atlantic.
You need them.
No, we don't.
Yes, you need.
Well, we're gonna find out on First Friday tomorrow how few of them are working. So get ready for a negative number. Just because this show loves talking about First Fridays. That's what a bunch of fucking nerds. Yeah, all right. Anyway, this one's called No Shit. ATF analyzed the bullet that supposedly killed Charlie Kirk, and apparently it doesn't match the gun, or maybe it does. Ballistics is kind of a made-up science. We're not really sure if that's a real thing or not.
And his own's right. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I saw this story. And I don't know. I find this story to be worrying because like this fuels everything that we don't need to fuel right now.
There's already enough of an information vacuum and stupid conspiracies going around, and then Erica's mad at Elon because Drewski's making videos or some dumb shit like that. What a fucking sentence! I can't even imagine.
This is such a terrible timeline. It's there have been worse timelines, but this is like such a stupid timeline. That's what makes it so bad. Because it's a very dumb timeline. Like we have so much at our fingertips to be so much better, but all the knowledge at our fingertips has actually made us so much stupider.
And a wise man once called it stupid Stalin. And he was right about that.
It's stupid Stalin, man.
Okay. Let's get to our top heavy story tonight. I know we're coming right up against the end, but this is the story that everybody wants to hear and that is going to get clipped all over the place. And that we sent Brian out to go learn about. Because the last story basically fizzled. The second to last story, which was that the ICE was going to come to the Marine graduation. They kind of backed off from that a little bit because they found out that if you abduct somebody's abuela and him and his Marine buddies,
Marines, not no foolish child ICE officer doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Marines are crazy, all right?
Yeah, they are. And they love each other and stick to each other more than they do anything on the planet. So if you fuck with one, you fucked with literally all of them within earshot, and they will beat you to within an inch of your life, if not worse. And ICE was like, nah, I'm not about that smoke. They did not want to get their ass whooped by a bunch of newly minted Marines. So we'll just close that one out. Okay. How do we explain this?
It's kind of unexplainable.
We're just going to read it. A week after her departure as the head of Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem has reportedly been, quote, blindsided by a new report that her longtime husband, Brian, is into something. What's he into, Brian?
Well, it appears that he's into a very unique way of cross-dressing. So here's one of the pictures that the Daily Mail recovered.
Yeah.
It is a thing that I don't know where this came from. Well, it is a thing.
Did
It
you
is
go
called.
check?
It's called bimfication.
What is this?
That's what it is.
What is this?
So apparently, he's into women who pretty much blow themselves up with ultra full lips and huge breasts. And like I said, back
he's
in the
into them
before,
or he's into being them.
Yeah, being them. So he's cross-dressing, but he wants to be like them. So yeah, he's into these sites. There's some of these sites that I
on Tuesday, March 31st, reportedly uncovered online messages and photos of Brian, 56, participating in online fetish forums. Cool. So far, no problem. The photos, some of which include Brian's face, show the former first gentleman of South Dakota dressed in pink hot pants and massive fake breasts, apparently made of balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He also reportedly paid at least $25,000.
Damn.
That's real money to chat with online fetish models in the bimboification scene. So that's what we sent you to go check. So, Brian, what? Okay. Was Brian trying? I'm not understanding who's in this scene. Is it other men that like men in balloons?
I don't know. I honestly do not know. That's why I said, all you've done is ruin my search history.
Look, we send you to Exotica every year to learn about this shit. And
Exotica doesn't have this, even though they have women with very huge breasts and all that stuff, but not something. They don't have bimbofication. It's not on their radar with this.
Your Explorer page must look crazy on Instagram.
Out of the porn mainstream that even you didn't know about this. Like our offline chat. Okay, when this story broke, I sent the link to the other two guys and I was like, hey, look at this. Brian, you have an assignment. You have to go do this. Tez laughed at him. And Brian, your reaction was what?
If I remember correctly, I was surprised. I just literally laughed.
Even you didn't know what it was.
I did not know what this was because I was like, "Are you serious?" It is like, and mind you, I've heard guys cross dressing. That's one thing, but
sure,
something of this nature, and especially. I'm just flabbergasted with it. It threw me.
At the point
holy shit! I just read the headline.
Yeah,
that was what he said.
Yeah,
I don't want to say that web history.
He was worried about his browser history. Brian, your browser history is so fucked. Don't even worry about that.
I have no problem with browsers, but something like this, I'm not sure about.
I don't even understand, and it's of course he's like a conservative Republican who's doing this. That's the thing.
That's why they're always railing against this stuff because they really want to do this. This is gonna go back to what Jay was saying. It's like these people just want to be included in some of this stuff. No one's stopping you.
Yeah, that's
you're trying to stop it.
You're trying to stop it.
She's like, how come I can't dress up in blackface? It's like, wait, do you want to do that? Is that the thing that you want to do? I don't understand. It's just.
I would have no issue. I would have no issues with this if these weren't the same people that are railing and trying to stop folks.
Exactly.
I swear I wouldn't care. Whatever, man.
If the rest of the bimboification scene is a bunch of consenting adults who are just into that, that's fine, man. Y'all do what y'all want to do. Not my thing, but it's cool.
Yeah, but they want to. He's part of that group and crowd who. Or like you said earlier with Trump, it's like they want to, do as I say, not as I do. That's pretty much what this is. And
I'm into weird shit, right? There's weird things. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to out myself for a weird thing that I care about. These are these weird toys that I like. This is a cool one. It's a cow that you can take apart and it has the different cuts of meat in it. It's like a puzzle.
Not weird.
I don't know why I like this. It's strange. right?
I don't find that strange. That's basically the picture that you see in The Butcher, but as a toy.
Yeah, yeah. But not only that, the steaks, if you like heat them up, they cook. They like turn, cooked and stuff. But like, I don't just have a cow. I've got a chicken and I've got a sheep and I've got a pig and I've got a tuna and a puffer fish and all. This is a weird thing. I know it's not like a normal mainstream thing. I'm fine with it. I don't think it's harmful. It's like, and I'm not railing against it. Like, oh yeah, grown men with toys is wrong, and that's fucking
Lock them up.
Yeah. It's like, all right, you're into weird shit. I'm into weird shit. Let's do weird shit together. That's fine. But like, don't hate the weird shit and then do the weird shit. Oh, what a weird thing to do, though. What's with the balloons? I saw one of the photos. It's like the nipples on the balloons are pointing all kinds of weird directions.
It's one. Yeah, one of his. Yeah.
I don't understand what that's about, but that's clearly a choice, right? You can manage that if they're balloons. Every 15-year-old boy has done that, right? They've blown up balloons and stuck them in. Hey, look at me! Every single one. It's just most of us grow out of it, apparently.
And if you don't, it's okay.
Yeah, it's cool. Just don't hate on other people. Brian, you think they're getting divorced, right?
I would. Actually, maybe not.
No, because she and Corey, they gotta get back to doing the thing.
No plane this time.
Yeah, they gotta do it on their own dime.
Sex
all right,
plane.
The sex plane. All right. Brian put this story from Italy about like a soccer player disguising himself as a priest.
No, it's a soccer coach.
Oh, soccer coach.
So he couldn't be on the sideline, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, he got banned. I'm going to skip the other story that's above it because it just makes me sick and I don't want to talk about it. But just suffice it to say, anytime you hear the words Jewish and list.
I literally, when I saw that story, I was like, uh-oh.
We don't like being on lists. That's not a thing.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Exactly how it starts. And don't say that you're doing it to protect us either, because we heard that story too. Oh no, this is your ghetto. It's to keep you safe from the other. No, that the fence is to keep them out. They did tell us that. That's what they said. And then everyone's like, okay, that makes sense. Everybody does try to kill us all the time. Sure, we'll get inside. No, we're not doing that. Just let you know, we're not doing that. You can try, we'll find out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what happened in Italy? Also, this is in 9th tier of Italian football.
They got 9 tiers.
9 tiers. That's
9
basically
tiers.
our beer league or something, right?
Yeah. Friggin' DC Frey.
This is you and me back in the parking lot behind Audi Field kicking a ball around. Like, we're not even in there. Okay. A soccer coach who was already suspended arrived at a match dressed as a priest and was reported to be handing out instructions to his players in an area near the field.
The good word.
So there he is, standing there being a priest, telling them what to do. The clash between ASD Galgano, I don't know. Do it, Tez. You speak Italian. And Union
Galganano? I don't know. That's good. That's a
Galgano.
Galgano.
I don't know. Fuck it. Whatever. They're not in the World Cup. And I don't have to learn that word. And then another team that I also don't have to learn the word. So then he was out there being a priest, right? And signaling stuff to his players. He was also reported to have entered the playing enclosure to celebrate with his players and allegedly insult the opposing players after a late goal from one of his own team. This is despite already serving a suspension, which has now been increased. Reports in Italy claim that he will now spend a further 4 months on the sidelines of his 9th tier team. Cesare, maybe, is accused of handing out technical and tactical instructions to his team by positioning himself on a ladder while wearing a cassock. That's the priest robe thing. His bid to get close to the action came due to him serving a ban to lead the team or enter the field of play. What did he do in the first place to get banned? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
We got to find that out. Go clear your browser history out and go look at this one. See if you can figure out what got Cesare banned in the first place. What? So I guess, do you want the job, Tez? They need a coach.
I get it's either me or Tarika.
No, they can take all the guys that aren't playing in the World Cup. They're going to be free in June.
That's true.
Their club teams are off, and they're not doing nothing at FIFA. They can go play in Kosovo. Oh, no, wait, Kosovo's in.
Yes.
That's hilarious. I think
the Iranians are free.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, and they can root for the Iraqis instead. Another team starts with an I. They made it in.
They did.
So, Italy, Iraq, what's the difference? They're all basically the same. Countries that start with I. All right, that's it. We come to the end of the show. Your prediction was wrong, Tez.
Wrong.
I tried.
And you were speeding through it. Yeah, we are 10 minutes
doing
off.
my best.
All right.
But
we'll see next
somebody
time.
held us up talking about his Molt book.
All right.
Yeah, I blame you. All right.
It's more talking about democracy. That's probably where we
democracy. What a joke that was. Failed experiment. All right, we've come to the end of the show. We want to say thank you to Jay Yoko for hanging out with us. If you want to be a rock star, go see her, man. She'll teach you everything you need to know. We are still working on ChipChatistan, so if you want a ministry position for life, let us know how you want to help us, and then you'll be granted that probably. Thanks to our radio partners, Rachel Maddow, Ari Melber, and the redhead who has the excellently snarky face, whatever her name is. Thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week, maybe. Don't know, haven't checked. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Beltway and Rip Radio for making us sound as smooth as the comeback of Tone and Kiki. Welcome back to the network.
There we go.
Our favorite people who do a much better show than us. We're so happy to have you back. Go check them out there on Monday nights. Brian's their producer too. So he that's where he does his good work.
Monday nights, interesting.
Yeah.
They went from
Monday nights.
They've
always been on Mondays. So
I thought they were on mornings at one point
they did mornings for a while, and now they're back on their Monday nights. So they're on 7 o'clock and on Monday nights. Check them out. Right, they're good dinner time radio. Not with the kids around, of course, but whatever. Put your earbuds in. You're gonna be fine. All right, where can everybody get you on the socials there, Tez?
Now you can find me on Blue Sky. Everybody's insufferable. It's insufferable people on that damn site. It's a lack of
Tacoma Park on the internet.
It is I don't know. It has to be a willful ignorance around certain things. There's just such a lack of nuance, but it's social media. What am I looking for? And yeah, you might have seen me on Instagram, but I'll be deleting the app again. I'm pretty good at just like deleting it now, but there's a very dope Haitian World Cup t-shirt that I want to get that this artist is putting out. So I'll be on there tomorrow.
You're gonna delete it again.
And then once hopefully if I get it or I don't get it, I will delete the app again.
He's gonna be following the Nats and reposting their awesome plays, and that's don't worry.
Look, man, big series tomorrow, home opener, LA.
Yeah,
it's here. I don't know. The Evil Empire is touchdown. God, I needed that series win against the Phillies, for God's sakes. I needed that.
Do that thing, man. All right. And you can find me on the Twitter with the show at ChipChatRR. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RipChipChat. And you can find me on the Blue Sky being insufferable as well. Complaining about Pledge Drive. Ugh. Fucking Pledge Drive. We just barely survived through that. At Chef Chip, my old Twitter handle. And you can, of course, find us at 9:30 most Thursday nights, including next Thursday night when we do have a very cool pair of guests. So we'll tell you about that. Follow us on the socials and you'll find out who we're going to have on the guest. You like that? See, I'm learning. Jay's teaching me things. I'm paying attention. Right. And you'll find us at 9:30 on Thursday nights on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm Chip. That's Tez. Brian's in the back clearing out his browser. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and Beyond.
Sweet.
Street balls.
Another chapter in history, another verse. Trump promises political violence, but no hearse. FTG and Shapiro try to rap, but don't rehearse. These right-wing nuts can't get any better, just worse. Tez and Chip out here trying to save the republic like Tez on the golf course. It ain't private, just public. When we have a drink in the bar, it's not beer, it's a public. It's hard to get something to rhyme with this subject. If we get famous, we can give a shout out to Brian. To get us out on time is what he'd be trying. The show is like a custom feathered avian that knows words. How can we stay late when our guest is Illy Bird? In conclusion, the message is to go out and serve folks, whether that's through art, music, or if you just tell jokes. Seek to medicate your ears, hope you eradicate your fears. Thanks for sticking with us through all these years.